with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage. For years, I've been asking you to call me at Alabama Home Mortgage because there is a difference in mortgage companies. When you call Alabama Home Mortgage, you will immediately see the difference in pricing. Not only do we offer the most competitive rates, but our closing costs rank among the lowest in the industry. How do we do it? Because we can. We do not have the overhead that big banks and lenders do. Those big banks and lenders have big expenses. And what do? They pass those expenses along to you. Meanwhile, here at Alabama Home Mortgage, we receive wholesale rates which result in big savings that we pass along to you. Don't pay more for less. Give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time. Our rates and pricing are just one difference that sets us apart from the rest. It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into the program here on a lovely Monday. It's actually cooling down in Montgomery, Alabama, all across the river region, and I like it. Yet I find, like, I'm having trouble, like, doing the things I want to do. The more I reflect, the more I introspect on what I should do. It's kind of painful more and more when I do the things that I shouldn't do and know I shouldn't do them. Ever felt that struggle? Of course, we'll get into all the headlines. Troy Carrico should be joining us a little later. Eddie Bader not going to be here today because...
Always be closing.
Yes.
Always be closing.
But look forward to seeing Carrico a little later in the program. Of course, nothing happened in local news over the weekend, right? Right? Oh, yeah. The whole Donald Watkins Jr. hire. Apparently, the personnel board will have a vote on that today. I don't believe, though. I don't know if the personnel board has even the stones to stand up to the mayor and say, this doesn't make sense. But I collected my thoughts and I wrote about it a little bit. This whole idea of taking a guy convicted of financial fraud and putting him in charge of a program that oversees a lot of different, say, financial options for small businesses in the city. Loans, grants, networking, commercial relationship contacts, all this stuff. That's the guy? The guy convicted of financial fraud? I do not understand what I do. For what I want to do, I do not do. But what I hate, I do. From 2007 to 2013, Donald Watkins Sr. and Donald Watkins Jr. fraudulently solicited over $10 million from investors into their company, Masada Resource Group. The father and son team claimed the funds would be used to bolster the business, which they pitched as having the technology to turn trash into ethanol. Yet the real alchemy at play was transforming investor funds into personal gain. Victim money was used to pay for Donald Watkins Sr.'s alimony, hundreds of thousands of dollars in back taxes, personal loan payments, a private jet, and clothing purchased by Donald Watkins Jr. and his wife, the DOJ wrote post-conviction. In 2019, Watkins Sr. was convicted on 7 counts of wire fraud, 2 counts of bank fraud, and 1 count of conspiracy. Watkins Jr. was convicted on 1 count of wire fraud and 1 count of conspiracy. Both were sentenced to prison and ordered to pay joint restitution of approximately $14 million, though Sr. slightly bore a higher liability than Jr. In 2022, the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals upheld their convictions and sentences, rejecting arguments about insufficient evidence and other trial issues. Despite their convictions, I think it is safe to surmise that both father and son remain unrepentant on this charge, though I cannot prove or disprove the content of their hearts. Watkins Sr. is especially defiant of the court, especially defiant of the court's findings, writing that he was, quote, unquote, railroaded by racist white judges and prosecutors that, quote, wanted an opportunity to nail me to the cross, even if they had to manufacture a criminal case to do so. Watkins Sr. goes on, saying, Republican politicians in Alabama consistently target me for beatdowns because of my success in law, business, and life. They also hate my intelligence, he goes on to say, and outspokenness. They only like ingratiating, deferential Negroes. Ironically, Watkins Sr.'s defiant public pose after being convicted strikes me as downright Trumpian, except with less charisma, less talent, and less success. That said, Watkins Sr. may just be, as the Time song says, Donald Trump Black version. Great early 90s jam. Slow jam at that. Watkins Sr.'s spirited defense certainly parallels Trump's own against a weaponized and rigged political system. Both often deploy unapologetic tactics, packed full of bombastic rhetoric, cynical accusations meant to undermine the legitimacy of the institutions they battle, and clever appeals to the emotional zeal of pride and tribe. Indeed, Watkins Sr.'s similarity to Trump may very well reveal a fundamental lesson about politics. Though Watkins Sr. claims to hate the white GOP establishment in Alabama for their injustice against him and the systemic sin they represent in his mind, he seems more than willing to do all manner of what he accuses them of doing. He does what he claims to hate while never accepting any justice in his own punishment. He, like so many other political players, including his opponents, seems to have been given over to the notion that the law is not an imperfect tool of justice meant to educate men of their evil through punishment and command, but a wicked weapon wielded by corrupt elites to excuse their own force and fraud while punishing the force and fraud of their enemies. Perhaps Watkins Sr. is right to believe this about law and politics. I myself have feared it may be true. Under such a view of politics, the law only ever reveals the sins of the other guy and never your own. Under such a view of politics, the only unforgivable sin is admitting guilt or defeat, even if it means doing what one hates to see your enemies do. The lesson being, do unto others what you would hate to have them do unto you. Under this view, a criminal conviction in court isn't considered proof positive of one's own sins, but the sins of one's enemies and the rot of systemic sin. And even when your enemies successfully convict you, even when you fail to prevail on appeal, you can always deny the justice of your punishment and rely on your friends. That brings me to Mayor Stephen Reed's announcement that he's requesting to hire his longtime friend Donald Watkins Jr. as the new Small Business Development Director for the city. Who better to manage grants, loans, commercial relationships, and access to capital for Montgomery small businesses than a guy convicted for a premeditated investment fraud scheme for which he and his father seemingly remain unrepentant? What small business entrepreneur doesn't want to work with and on financing solutions with a politically well-connected felon convicted for multi-billion-dollar financial fraud in his own business dealings? I mean, come on. Could this new hire turn out like the tenure of former Montgomery Police Chief Daryl Albert, who, after being hired despite rumors of sexual misconduct during his time in the New Orleans Police Department, had to resign as Montgomery's chief of police 2 years into the job, surrounded again by rumors of sexual misconduct. Just as Watkins' team falsely promised their investors the technology to alchemize trash into ethanol, Mayor Reed now promises to magically transform a white-collar fraudster's trash criminality into equity, justice, and greater representation for small businesses in Montgomery. Buyer beware. Though some might think this is merely a corrupt decision by a corrupt mayor, or a dumb decision by a dumb mayor, akin to letting the fox guard the henhouse, I can't help but see this as a keen Machiavellian move of political patronage by Reed to help Watkins Jr., so that together they may carry on their respective families' political legacies, all while putting a fist in the air with a middle finger against Alabama's white, racist GOP establishment. Their fathers taught them well. Almost too well. Better to hire a loyal, cunning fox, ready to lay and recognize traps, rather than some dutiful guard dog who only knows to bark justice when a hen goes missing. After all, in politics, especially like local, petty, corrupt politics, sometimes hens need to go missing. And you don't need no guard dog barking about justice. Like, shut up, man. We're doing a thing. They and their fathers might rightfully say, whether you're a Watkinses or a Reed, they might rightfully say they learned their ways from hard-fought experience battling their political enemies, oppressive systems, and evil weaponization of the law against them. They'll wonder how many of their enemies would say the same of them. Perhaps everyone is right about the evil they see in their enemies. Why do men see the crookedness of other men as license to be crooked? Why do men hate their enemies only to emulate them in their hatred? Why does what we hate become an excuse for us to pour out our hatred? The law reveals sin to men, but cannot free men from it. Only when men repent, only when they recognize the justice of their punishments and welcome God's grace through faith, will they ever find hope to be freed from doing the very thing they hate. 2729228 if you want to get in on the conversation. I see this as like, I'm not surprised. Now, maybe the personnel board shocks me after all the public reaction to this and says, no, you can't hire this guy. You can't hire this guy because he was convicted of financial fraud and you're now putting him in charge of all sorts of finances. No. Oh, but he has a boss that he reports to. I think he would report to Frank Robinson with economic development. That just seems really, really dumb. And yes, really, really in your face. Like it is a middle finger. We don't care what we think. We run the show now. We run our little hen house, and we're going to do what we want. And by the way, it's a nice gig. $120,000 a year ain't bad in this town. I hope the personnel board has the balls to say, no, we're not going down this road. But given the way this town's been going, I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever to see a fox guarding the hen house. Again, 2729228 if you want to get in on the conversation. And apparently they've made another arrest. A fourth person from the mass shooting that happened a few weeks back. One of the people that was arrested before is already out on bond, apparently. And there will be a press conference from the Montgomery Police Department at like 1 o'clock or whenever they actually show up to talk about their latest in their investigation about the mass shooting. But as all this goes on in the city, the problems with crime and not having the police personnel, we do not have enough men. And I know you could say we raised salaries and we gave incentives and bonuses. Then why aren't people biting? If the bait you're putting out there is not actually enticing folks to come and work as police officers in Montgomery, what are you doing wrong? And on top of that, you've got the financial struggles of a major hospital in this city. And while all of this is going on, let's hire old longtime friend buddy of mine. Give him $120,000 a year. To do what? And I'm telling you, if I was a small business owner and entrepreneur, which, maybe that's in the cards down the road, I sure as hell am not taking this city's money. Don't care how desperate and hard up I am. Keep your $500. Keep your $1,000. Keep your stupid networking. Keep your club. I don't want to be part of your club. I want to rise or fall on my own merits, not be on the hook and owe y'all. The heck is this? And of course, I'm sure, and I've seen him do it on these airwaves. Mayor Stephen Reed will be like, well, isn't this what Trump does? There you go. The thing is, y'all ain't Trump. You're much less talented, much less charismatic, and much less successful. I mean, you might be able to make the argument that you're more successful, more charismatic, more talented than I am. Fine. There are a lot of people better than me. But the excuse making of, well, our opponents do it, so we should do it. I'm like, well, there's the hypocritical, sinful spiral we're all caught in with the unique temptation that is politics. I don't care if the bubbas you used to fight 20, 30 years ago did this crap, or if somebody got the best of you in court because you pissed off the wrong guy. If that's all our legal system is, so be it. But don't bitch and moan, and especially Watkins Sr., compare your corrupt ass to Dr. Martin Luther King or Nelson Mandela unless you want to admit they're corrupt too. Unrepentant nonsense. Anyway, Montgomery's doing great. Montgomery's doing fine. It's amazing what men will do when you give them a little bit of power. Amazing. Again, 272-9228. You want to get in on the conversation? Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
This is Naj Papa. Joey, good morning.
Good morning, Naj Papa. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, I don't often get to see. I guess, let me ask you, is your Monday morning opening always an essay or whatever you want to call it, that like you just did?
Usually, yes. It'll be my column out tomorrow at 1819 News on Tuesdays.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I just want to say, here, Joey, this is an issue and details I had no knowledge of. I appreciate the way you put it together, informing us and drawing some scripture in as well, and the parallels you made. Well done. And I appreciate the passion I feel in your voice. Sometimes Greg Goodell gets pretty passionate, and I like when I hear Joey with some passion as well.
Well, I appreciate that. And yeah, thanks for calling in. And I'm kind of working my way. I'm trying not to do it too much, but I'm literally stuck at about Romans 7 because it's very dense. So I'm like, well, this actually seems to play with the political stuff I'm seeing in my own town. So let's go with it.
Well, hey, one more thing, if I can make people aware of this, the APLS, Alabama Public Library Service, has an open meeting tomorrow at 6030 Monticello Drive. It has to do with the books that have been debated in our local libraries for a long, long time. So they wanted public comment. They invited people to write letters. The deadline was the 14th of October, and that was the deadline to sign up to speak. I don't just like speaking, but I feel obligated, and I will be speaking there tomorrow. Everybody gets 2 minutes, so you got to really condense what you want to say. But people from all over the state on both sides of this issue will be speaking there tomorrow at 6030 Monticello Drive. And I think it's a really important issue that we need to take a stand on if we have values and convictions, to say what we believe is right and why it's wrong to put these kind of books in the hands of our children.
You said it's there on Monticello Drive. What time will this be going down?
It's at 10 and probably goes all day long. I wrote in and said I wanted to speak, and they wrote me back and said I'm speaker number 35. Okay. But I guess they'll have 100 speakers. I don't know how many.
Oh, I know it's a big issue. I can't remember last time I set foot in the library, but I've learned a lot from the coverage by the folks there at 1819 News, and I'm sure they'll have somebody down there to see the latest. And I know John Wall, head of the Republican Party here, has taken a lot of interest in this. In fact, he's on the board. So, yeah, a lot of people are finally standing up for their values.
Yeah. Well, thanks for letting me say that, Joey. Hey, have you started? Someone to ask you, last time I talked to you, you had just ordered the book, If You Can Keep It by Eric Metaxas. Did you order a hard copy or audio book?
Hard copy, and it came in the mail on Sunday.
Okay. Have you opened it yet?
I've looked at it. No, like I've got a bunch of books I'm looking at.
Not missing you, brother. I'm amazed and thankful that you ordered it. That's cool.
But yeah, and I'll definitely get to it. I need to, because I've watched a lot of Metaxas, especially his Socrates in the City conversations are fantastic. And so
okay. Who knows? I can look those up. Socrates in the City. Okay.
Yeah, really.
Well, see, the way I got exposed to Metaxas was, for a long time, I was a follower of Chuck Colson. Especially, I liked he had a little 2-minute radio broadcast called Breakpoint that would always deal with some pertinent issue in the news. And Chuck Colson would always have very salient remarks based on Christian morality and convictions in the Bible. And he was such an intellect. And so Eric Metaxas was one of the guys I think he was grooming, and he stepped up and he now continues that Breakpoint broadcast through the Colson Center. And that's how I first heard of Eric Metaxas.
Yeah, and I think he's quite a talent. He was the keynote speaker at that 1819 News Albert Patterson Gala. I got to meet him, shake his hand. In fact, the copy of the letter to the American Church I have a signature, personalized signature from it.
We discussed that last time. I asked you if you were familiar, and you said you had met him at that event. Yeah, and you got the copy of it. But I think the other book will probably suit you a little bit better, at least for now.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, I've got a whole stack I need to get through. So, but I've got it. Got in the mail. It's at home.
Cool. Well, God bless you. Really, thanks for all the books you read and how you put that together and what you say and do on the air. We love you.
Thanks, sir.
Nice.
Hey, love y'all too. Let's go to line 2. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, this is Jeff. How you doing today, Joey?
I'm all right, Jeff. How you doing?
Oh, pretty good. Just enjoying this nice weather. So a couple of things, as a person who used to be in law enforcement, but a different kind of law enforcement, I used to work for the Department of Corrections for the state. And I think a few different factors play into the lack of staffing for MPD.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, I believe, is the turnover rate in law enforcement is high in general, because you have either older guys that are retiring in a mass, or you've got younger guys coming into the department and realizing that this job isn't for them. And that's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Or you could have a lot of politics coming from the top down, and that's making people quit. Or they're pushing people out because they've noticed some corruption they're trying to expose or get right. So there's a lot of different factors. And
sure,
in my personal experience, they really didn't pay us enough for what we had to deal with. But then again, this was in the prison system. I know it's a little different from on the street. However, the concept is still the same.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, what's say starting salary to work as an officer in the prison?
Now it's gone up because I left there back in 2012. I think now it's somewhere around 45 to 50,000, I believe.
Ugh.
Now starting, which is much higher than what I started at.
Okay. Still, I mean, you can make a living with that, but not. You're still, especially in this economy, and you got kids. That's still tight.
Yes, but the problem is as well with the prison systems is that they don't have enough staff across the state to staff all 3 shifts. So they're having mandatory overtime for a lot of the officers. And you're working 16 hours a day, you're going to be tired, you're not going to be in your best mental capacity. And that's really dangerous when you're working around inmates all the time. But then you have staff as well that, try to cover up for their buddy, or, they do a lot of politicking too in the prison system.
Right.
They really do. And that's why I left, because I was tired of dealing with it.
Yeah, and I think
there's
a lot of this, to me, everything you described, though, does start at the head with leadership, and you need if you do have such rot and like you have political and cultural issues within whether it's a prison or a department, like you have to be a vigorous executive and really make some big decisions. And I think sometimes we get too caught up on, say, a personal hire of like a chief of police. But I don't want just a new chief. I want, what is that chief going to do to everybody in the command structure down the line?
Exactly.
And I want a straight answer, as you're kind of getting at. I want a straight answer about like what's actually going on. And unfortunately, even these publicly funded, publicly backed institutions, they're very close to the vest with actual information, what's actually going on, because it'd be embarrassing or whatever. But that's a very frustrating part of this, is like when they talk to the public, they're not telling us squat.
I agree 100%. And the top, believe it or not, the top down really does set the morale for the front line.
Yeah, it does.
It really does, 100%. But that was just my 2 cents. I appreciate you, Joey, and I appreciate what you do, bud.
All right. Well, thank you for the call. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
272-9228. Again, if you want to get in on the conversation, this part of the program brought to you by River Region Contracting. And their River Region Contracting, they're ready to help you out with an inspection, or maybe you already know you have an issue with your roof. It'd be a metal roof or an asphalt roof, shingle roof. Either needs to be inspected on a regular basis. And you might be going like, well, I can't do that too often. I'm not made of money to have constant inspections done. I'm like, no, you should at least do it on an annual basis. Why? Because their inspections are always free at River Region Contracting. And even if, say, they find an issue, they'll write up an estimate on how to fix it, what it's going to cost to fix it. They'll write up that estimate for free. And they're insurance specialists. So if they do find a problem with your roof that your insurance company might pay for, they can walk you through that claims process, make it easy and swift as an experience. And of course, they're not just going to show up be like, yeah, you got an issue. They will sit down and talk to you as long as you desire to fully understand what's the issue, why is it going to cost, how are you going to fix it? Or maybe if you just trust them and say, okay, go ahead. They can work with you that way too. But they love being able to educate their customers on their roofs and really help them out, understanding what the problems are, how to prevent these problems. So y'all check out River Region Contracting today. Again, that's 356-8635, 356-8635. And be sure to tell Todd Clark and the great team there that Joey Clark, that fellow on the radio, sent you.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Trust Montgomery's glass experts to provide you with fast and convenient service when and where you need it. Find out how affordable independent glass can be. Free estimates on storefronts, shower doors, furniture tops, plate glass window glass, plexiglass, custom beveled mirrors, residential or commercial services. You come to them or Independent Glass will come to you. Call Independent Glass 263-2823, 263-2823, or stop by 2047 Bell Street near the entrance to Maxwell. Independent Glass.
This is your roving reporter. Today I'm talking to a lion tamer.
What up, Wild Kingdom?
I see you're working with the big cats.
That's right, man. They're ferocious. Down Garfield are no tender victuals for you.
I'll bet you've made so much money that you've had to hire yourself a money man.
Yeah, man, and I've hired the best.
You mean the man who could quite possibly be the most beloved asset preservationist in the world?
That's right, man. David Ernest.
The money man with the money plan.
Yeah, Daddy-O, and you can call him toll-free at 833-596-7233.
And those last 4 digits spell out the word safe.
Yeah, man. Mr. Jinx, stop that. That's disgusting.
Tell me, how did you get into this business?
Well, my Uncle Claude, who was also a lion tamer, taught me everything I know.
And what was your Uncle Claude's last name?
Badley.
Claude Badley.
Yeah, excuse me. I gotta go scoop out the litter box.
Make sure you get that joke while you're at it.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Pumpkin spice latte season. More like Prattville Carpet Fall sales season, when you can buy a square foot of tile, luxury vinyl plank, or carpet for way less than a coffee that tastes like a candle. I'm talking $1.39 a square foot. That's way cheaper than the big box stores. And Prattville will throw in friendly, helpful customer service for free. That's the big difference.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Call us today for your free measurement. Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
Shop the fall sale now at PrattvilleCarpet.com.
Do you have real estate problems? Whether you're facing foreclosure, inherited a property, or have costly repairs, we understand. At Rapid Fire Home Buyers, we're here to help. Any condition, any situation, we'll give you an honest cash offer for your home so you can move forward. Because when real estate problems cause you uncertainty, you deserve a solution you can trust. Any condition, any situation, we're here to help. Give Rapid Fire Home Buyers a call today at 334-675-1000. That's 334-675-1000.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. What a change of reality with this new fresh air. Sunshine today, cool, comfortable, high in the mid-70s. Clear skies, colder tonight. Overnight low temperature down to about 46. More sun, low 80s tomorrow. Wednesday's high only 74. Coldest morning will be Thursday morning in the low 40s. And how about 70s for a high Thursday, Friday, Saturday? Our coolest fall week of the season so far. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Ready to borrow smarter this season? Apply online in minutes at yourasecu.com. Call 334-270-9011 or visit your local branch today.
ASD Credit Union. Your life, your goals, your ASD.
Terms and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
Live local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back. I forgot to mention another story that broke, well, over the weekend or going into the weekend, that the Montgomery Mayor Stephen Reed's chief of staff, Dream Reed, that's how you say his name, I apologize, Mr. Reed, he abruptly resigned. Now, I was about to make a comparison to that scene in like Star Wars and the trash compactor and like the walls closing in and stuff. I'm not sure though. Are the walls closing in on this mayor? I mean, not literally. At a certain point, you got to wonder, the heck is the problem here? But his chief of staff has just resigned. Dream Reed, or Dream, however you say it, again, I'm sorry, joined the city in March of 23 as chief operating officer and later appointed chief of staff in October 2024. Man, he was only in that chief of staff gig for a year. During his tenure, he played a key role in advancing several organizational priorities and operational improvements across city departments, according to a news release. The mayor thanked him for his leadership and focus on team and a time of significant growth and change. They thanked him for his service and service to the people of Montgomery and wish him continued success in the future. I've not yet seen an announcement about an interim chief of staff, but the transition will be made in the coming days. We might get something today or tomorrow about who might be the new chief of staff for the mayor. But part of me is wondering, like, why did Chief of Staff Reed all of a sudden leave after a year as chief of staff? Now, it could be he had better things to do. It's like, I got kids. I got grandkids. I'm leaving. I'm going to spend time with people I actually love and enjoy spending time with. Maybe he does a personal reason. That would be great. That would be the most wholesome, I think, of these things. But it could be he's like, man, I'm tired of this crap. Tired of this job. I'm tired of what's happening here. And so I'm done. A year in this position I guess he replaced Chip Hill, who was chief of staff for a long, long time there for the mayor. So we will wonder. And if, by the way, if anybody can get a public interview with former chief of staff Reed, please do. And he's always welcome here. Talk about what the gig is about. He can tell me to my face how wrong I am on all this stuff. Fair enough. But part of me is that frustration I was just venting to a caller of, as much as they claim to serve the public, and I'm picking on them because it's our city and our police department and, it's right here in our own backyard. I can universalize this. You see this a lot with a lot of so-called public institutions. What they say publicly, especially also like politicians who are currently in office, especially around election time, everything is carefully crafted. Everything is said just so. And it's one thing if, you're a football coach, like a big professional team, or you're a CEO or COO, or CFO of a big multinational corporation, and you have a lot of money at stake and stuff. Yeah, of course you're going to be like, yeah, I'm not going to talk about that. Too much at stake. And to a certain degree, I understand that governments and leaders, whether local, state, or national, need a bit of discretion and leeway of discretion in order to actually get the job done. That's fair. But when we start having issues, so many of these public institutions just go into CYA mode. Like, our ass looks ugly, and we can't show that to the people. I'm sorry. Just show it. Just moon us for all to see. Let us see the pock marks. Let us see the pimples. I don't know how your butt got so dirty, but we should all be able to see it. You might say, oh, well, we can't do that. Then our opponents will dogpile on us and jump. Fair, that is the world, but sometimes it just needs a little like blunt, brutal truth. Would be nice instead of public affairs or public relations speak, which it's now a propagandistic term for propaganda. Anyway, his resignation, it could be just personal stuff, but the timing seems interesting. Also, apparently there was a No Kings protest in downtown Montgomery. Apparently, according at least to WAKA, Action News, hundreds joined No Kings protest in downtown Montgomery. But the photo, by the way, they chose to use for the story is she's wearing a racism t-shirt. She's wearing up a No Kings, like a big oversized playing card, like in a deck of cards, like a king with the K X'd out and Joker written on the side and No Kings. And it shows a picture of like Trump and Vance on where the heads of the king on the card should be. But what I mostly noticed is like, yep, that's the exact demographic I'm thinking of. Usually when I post something obnoxious, trying to be obnoxious to find all you libs that somehow I friended over the years so I can get you off my social media, it's usually women of a certain age. And I'm like, man, that's fitting. But apparently hundreds of demonstrators gathered in downtown Montgomery as part of that nationwide No Kings thing. Participants dressed in colorful costumes and carrying signs met in front of the Riverfront Park on Commerce Street before marching to the Court Square Fountain. They sang songs, chanted, and listened to speakers who urged them to make their voice heard. Nearly 20 peaceful demonstrations were held across Alabama, with more than 2,500 events planned nationwide. Other No Kings rallies in central Alabama took place in Auburn, Dadeville, and Selma. I'm sure it was just all sweetness of light. And honestly, especially if I've gone, or not even planned to, you kind of run into one of these things. Especially in my 20s when I was out and about and like, let's get drunk. I would run into these types. I think I even signed something when I was a little drunk at a brew fest to somebody working at No Planned Parenthood just to hit on her. That was stupid. But anyway, I remember running into these things, and honestly, most of these folks are just folks. They're wrong. They probably think I'm wrong, but honestly, most of the time, I'm like, whatever. And especially you like middle-aged old ladies out there. It's like, you're annoying, but at a certain point, I have trouble hating you. It's just more like, ugh, such a foreign world to me. But at least the Montgomery one was somewhat wholesome, because 1819 News is reporting that in Fairhope, a protester was arrested, and he was wearing an inflatable penis costume. Now, for a second, I was like, is that Josh Moon? And then I realized it's Fairhope, not Montgomery. But Fairhope police reportedly apprehended one person at the No Kings protest on Saturday on Greeno Road near Fairhope Avenue. The person was wearing what appeared to be a penis costume. And he had a sign that said no dictator, but he didn't. He added a K to the spelling and maybe a space. Okay, got it. Actually, I don't mind that. That's hilarious. But Mayor Sherry Sullivan confirmed the person was first asked to leave the parade and was ultimately arrested. I mean, you should be. If you're going to be walking around dressed like a big old penis, number one, it's going to be a bit of a challenge to some people. They're going to feel a little threatened by it. And number two, there's probably like kids and stuff around. You shouldn't be doing that around kids and families. And the mayor of Fairhope said, Sherry Sullivan said, this type of behavior or display is not acceptable and will not be tolerated in Fairhope. Protests should remain peaceful and free of profanity and obscene displays. And mayor didn't provide the name of the protester, but said police would release more information on Monday. Who was the man wearing the penis outfit with the sign that said no dictator? Okay. That one kind of got me. So wrong, so inappropriate. Don't be doing obscene stuff like that. Line one, you're on there. Who's this?
This guy, that's why you got to watch these neighbors that have these inflatables, Joey. You just never know what's going to pop up.
Yeah, you got to be careful, especially when you got a pressure gauge around. Got to pump this thing up.
Mayor, did you see where our mayor also hired the ex-felon?
Oh, that's
at $121,000.
That's what I opened up with the show with. Yes, I did see that. I would say it's just ridiculous, though it's par for the course at this point, right? Like, who doesn't want overseeing your small business loans, grants, and and of course you'll have like Frank Robinson as the big boss over him, so there's accountability, right? But who really wants a guy convicted for financial fraud to the tune of millions of dollars? His father was more liable for it, but he was part of the scheme. You want that guy? Right. If I was a small business owner, I don't want anything to do with that guy. And he's in charge of like these funds now. It's absurd. It's the fox guarding the hen house. But I think Mayor Reed did this as sort of a Machiavellian power play. The Watkinses and the Reeds, we've been working together for generations now, fighting Whitey and the GOP establishment. So they did you wrong. You shouldn't have been convicted because they all do that same crap too with all their business accounts. So come on in, we'll give you $120,000 and we'll keep fighting the good fight and carry on the family legacies. I think and also, sometimes in politics, hens need to go missing simpler days. You don't want some guard dog that immediately barks justice every time a hen goes missing. You need like a fox who, can be scheming alongside you. I think it's just rotten and corrupt.
Of all the people in the city of Montgomery or the river region that have knowledge and expertise in working with small businesses, nonprofits, all the retired governmental employees. Oh. But you go to the bottom of the barrel and pull out this rabbit. And when it happens, and there's a shortage, there's malfeasance, then the taxpayers, as usual, will get stuck. Well, I heard there was a skirmish the other day in or around the mayor's office with his individual he just let go, and
oh really?
It didn't end well. Oh yeah, it didn't end well and there was a lot of hurt feelings there, Joey, but
it does seem like
that's the way it is.
The walls are kind of closing in on the mayor to a certain extent. He might very well survive it, but yeah, that abrupt, I'm resigning only a year into the chief of staff job, that doesn't make any sense.
They all complained about Trump and said, he couldn't keep his staff, so maybe he's suffering from the same illness.
Well, what do you think about, since you missed the very beginning, I opened up with what will be my column tomorrow at 1819 News. I go into not only like the Fox guarding the hen house, I also go into Watkins Sr. and like just how defiant he's been in his public pose. Like they went after me because they just hate how intelligent and successful I am in life and only like ingratiating deferential Negroes. I'm quoting Donald Watkins Sr. there from his own blog. But he kind of strikes me as like Donald Trump, but with less charisma, less talent, and less success. He's very defiant and will say all sorts of crazy, ridiculous things. But I don't know. That guy's been around the scene. I'd imagine you remember him from his time in the city council.
Oh, yeah, those were, I mean, you talk about, it's boring down there now compared to what it used to be when they had the fisticuffs between Emory Farmer and Watkins, and it was entertaining. I mean, it was really good stuff.
Yeah, he's I suggest that, I don't know if you probably don't know it, but The Time, they have a song called Donald Trump Black Version. I think every time Watkins Sr. comes up, we got to play that.
Well,
I'm sure he loves the comparison.
When I blow up my old pumpkin out in the front yard tonight, I'll think about Fairhope. Have a good day, Joey.
Thank you. This is part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services. And as it really is cooling down, I love feeling that this morning. Nice, cool 40-something degrees out there as I woke up at 6-something in the morning. That means that all sorts of little critters are going to try to get inside. Of course, insects will try to get inside. You want to make sure no cockroaches, no spiders, no ants, nothing. Don't want any of that. But also wildlife will try to get inside. And now they're at Pest Pro Services. They have their wildlife control service here for the river region. And that means they're going to do detailed inspections to find entry points and activity areas. So if you are hearing like weird sounds in the walls or above you in the ceiling, maybe there's something in the attic, very well could be you got squirrels or, God forbid, a raccoon or something else, maybe a bird set up shop there. But Pest Pro can figure it out. And not only will they be looking to remove any wildlife that gets inside your home, it's all about long-term prevention. Once the immediate issues resolve, they'll focus on exclusion, locating and sealing the access points animals are using to get in. They'll also assess surrounding conditions that may be attracting wildlife in the first place. They're going to focus on a practical, effective solution to protect your home without harming the surrounding environment. So if you're looking for a customized approach to wildlife control, you need to get in touch with Pest Pro Services, especially as we get into these cooler months. Just check them out at ppsriverregion.com or search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces to learn more, or call them direct, 265-9990. That's 265-9990. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services, and be sure to tell Ashley and that great team that Joey, that fellow on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
New CBS Tonight.
All right, people, all hands on deck.
FBI is back.
I don't really recognize the world anymore. My team saw things, survived things.
There's something else going on here. Something bigger.
FBI, don't move!
I know what kind of people you are, and I'm not giving up. We are FBI, and we still have a job to do to protect people. Let's move.
Hi, this is Carol Kennedy with Camo Country, and we've been advertising with Blue Water Broadcasting for many years, and we appreciate Blue Water Broadcasting helping promote Camo Country.
Radio reaches over 90% of everyone in the river region. Shouldn't your ads be out there where your customers are? Call us to find out more. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
The River Region's News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Clark.
Welcome back. Let's go right to the phones. and talk to Austin Barenko with Invista Advisors. Hey, Austin, how you doing today?
Having a great day, Jerry. How are y'all?
Life is all right, other than trying to hire Donald Watkins Jr. What a mess, man. What a mess. Guy convicted for financial. You don't have to talk about it. Excuse me, pardon me for going back into that mode. Let's real quick tell folks about Invista Advisors and the type of services you can offer to folks. I'd imagine anybody at any point in life, for the most part, could really use y'all's help.
Yeah, definitely. So we are a registered investment advisory firm specializing in pretty much everything in the realm of finance, primarily portfolio management. But before we dive into portfolio management, we are planners. So building a retirement plan or a plan to put your kids through college or a plan to purchase some real estate, any types of those plans we specialize in. And then, of course, once we manage your assets for you, we have a whole host of professionals that have been on staff for a long time, and we've got a great track record. And, and then also when it comes to tax services and or estate planning, we have great partners that we partner with. And I think I told you I'm over here today with Matthew McChesney in Auburn. They are our accounting partners over here in Auburn, and working with them over here today. So if you're a listener and you're out there and you got questions about any of these or all of these things, give us a call.
That number, 387-0094. And when you call them up at 387-0094, be sure to say, hey, I heard Austin Barenko on that radio show with Joey Clark. Want to see what y'all can do for me.
Awesome. Thank you, Joey. Y'all have a great week.
Appreciate you, Austin. Again, that's Austin Barenko with Invista Advisors. Always appreciate his time. My God, there's a man with a cowboy hat wielding a broadsword who just walked in the studio. I know who he is, though, so it's okay.
Can we say that?
Yeah, it's fine. Anyway, Troy Carrico flying in here. We got to hit the stop hour break in just a moment, but how you doing today, man?
Man, I'm outstanding. I can't wait to join you and the team. I've been listening, and Joey, how do you like Bofa?
Bofa?
Both of these nuts on your chin.
And on that note, we'll be. I was about to ask you about Sukon. You're right. All right.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Several million Americans took part in the No Kings rallies across the U.S. on Saturday, but President Trump says he was not impressed, saying that the fairly small turnout was made up mostly of people who don't really reflect the average American. The Senate is set to vote today on whether to reopen the government. House Speaker Mike Johnson says it makes no sense for Democrats to continue the shutdown. With all the talk about the need for critical minerals, economist Stephen Moore says rather than pressure China for more, the U.S. should do more mining of its own. He says this country actually has more rare earth minerals, valuable minerals, than any other country on earth. There's no reason that restrictions should stop the U.S. from mining its own minerals. According to a new survey, Americans say they're increasingly concerned about their ability to find a good job. That's according to the Associated Press Nork Center for Public Affairs. This is SRN News.
Every time I turn around, my friends at Pure Talk give me one more reason to feel good about switching. This month, for instance, they're supporting Canines for Warriors, a terrific organization that trains rescue dogs and then pairs them up with combat veterans struggling with PTSD. The result? They're saving lives on both ends of the leash. This is why I switched to Pure Talk. I like being in business with an American wireless company who shares my values. Yeah, I appreciate unlimited talk, text, and plenty of 5G data for just $25 a month, and I bet you will too. But I think you'll really appreciate doing business with a company who gives back to the men and women who volunteered to defend our country. Just dial pound 250, say micro. With Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team, you can switch in as little as 10 minutes. Again, dial pound 250, say micro, to switch to an American wireless company who actually stands for something.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Clark Heating, Air and Plumbing. Summer is over, but the deals are hot at Clark Heating, Air and Plumbing. Just $29 service fee for all your AC and plumbing needs. Better call Clark today. Alabama certification number 09098.
Rich Thomas weather.
Well, hi, everybody. What a change of reality with this new fresh air. Sunshine today, cool, comfortable, high in the mid-70s. Clear skies, colder tonight. Overnight low temperature down to about 46. More sun, low 80s tomorrow. Wednesday's high only 74. Coldest morning will be Thursday morning in the low 40s. And how about 70s for a high Thursday, Friday, Saturday? Our coolest fall week of the season so far. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
CB&S Bank has digital banking solutions to help you keep up. Check balances, pay bills, and much more. Learn more at cbsbank.com. Charges and fees may apply from your cellular service provider. Contact your service provider for information. Member FDIC.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. A fourth arrest has been made in connection to the October 4th mass shooting that left 2 people dead and 12 injured in downtown Montgomery. 21-year-old Cumante Hood is charged with 1 count of capital murder and 12 counts of assault. 2 19-year-olds and a juvenile male were previously arrested in the case. Additional arrests are expected as the investigation continues. Almost $2 billion and thousands of valuable items are stored in Alabama's unclaimed property vault, waiting to be claimed by their rightful owner. The list of unclaimed items is updated regularly, and it takes less than 5 minutes to check. Simply go to treasury.alabama.gov and click on unclaimed property. Montgomery police are investigating an apparent hit-and-run accident that killed a man early Saturday morning. MPD officers were dispatched to the 4400 block of Troy Highway around 5 a.m., where an unidentified male pedestrian was pronounced dead at the scene. The vehicle responsible left the scene before police could arrive. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Welcome to Eclectic Coins, Montgomery's largest coin dealer, specializing in buying and selling investment-grade gold and silver coins. And they have a large selection of rare coins and coins from around the world. Visit them at 543 Northeastern Boulevard or on the web at eclecticcoins.com. Eclectic Coins, where collectors who know go.
It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and LifeLock is here with tips to help protect your identity. Use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication on your accounts, report phishing, and update your software on all your devices. And for comprehensive identity protection, LifeLock is your best choice. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious uses of your personal information, but also fixes identity theft, guaranteed, or your money back. So stay smart, stay safe, and stay protected with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use the promo code BECK. Terms do apply.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Already in the second hour of the program here, Troy Carrico in studio with me, and he's got Rambo Trump looking over him, guarding us, and you have your sword there, that is massive.
Are you saying I have a big stick?
Yeah, you do. But it's actually kind of light in the hand. I was holding it earlier.
It's very balanced. It's very balanced there at the where the shank starts. Yeah, it's a really, really wonderful sword. It is a William Wallace recreation. I am from Clan Gregor. I am a McGregor. I am a direct descendant of Renaud McGregor, the son of Rob Roy McGregor. That's why I am always full of mischief and buffoonery, and I will steal your cattle and tell you I'm protecting them.
Very good. I like it. And so you're very much into that. Like you don't just read, you kind of get into the history, get into it. Like, I got to have the weapons. I got to have the recreation.
You made a statement yesterday. Do you remember what you said? You said, if we don't know where we come from, how do we know where we're going? Yeah, right. And I think that's kind of the the persona I try to do is, listen, I'm a sum of my parts, and I am of Scottish. I am of Italian. Listen, here's one for you. So the name Carico, what do you think it is?
I have no idea.
Well, I had a drill sergeant at Fort Benning who thought it was Carico with that roll like that, and he said that I was Puerto Rican. I said I'm Northern Italian. You're Puerto Rican. I said I'm Carico. He said your parents not teach you your mother tongue. He says you stay with me, son. I will protect you. And you know what he did? I swear to you, he thought. I'm going to tell you this story. It's a funny story. My wife's listening right now, and she's going to laugh when I say it. It's a dog story, but it comes out of a Puerto Rican. Hey, so here's the thing. I'm Italian. I'm from the good side. I'm the high end of Latin America, right? I'm Latino.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm from Roman ilk, and my family's from Firenze, Florence. My uncles or my progenitors was Peter and Abel Carico. And they were from Firenze, Florence. They were navigators on Lord Baltimore's ship. They were ceded 110 acres, each of them, from the King of England, helping bring over this. And so I'm one of the older Italian families. The only family that predates us are the Talaferios. You've heard of the Talaferios, right? So anyways, I go through basic training, AIT at Fort Benning. And this guy, his name was Roberto Marrero. And he did 3 tours in Vietnam. He was wired for sound. This dude had seen some stuff, but he was meaner than hell. And he would take me, go, my son, tonight is fire watch for you. Here are the keys to the dining facility. Go get you some ice cream. You take care of yourself. Man. Listen, he treated me like I was somebody. Carico. At the very end, he knew I was an ROTC cadet, get ready to go through ROTC, but I went through basic and AIT because I enlisted just to do that experience. He says, my son, come with me. Let's go to the back. And we go to the back, and we're getting ready to graduate the next day. He goes, and he's got a stick. And Joey, he's messing around in a sawdust pit where we do pugil stick and pugilistic and mixed martial arts stuff. And he's like hand to hand. And he goes, one day a woman will want to marry you. And he says, want to know why? I said, why, drill sergeant? And his English was terrible. He goes, you should, and he doesn't even answer. He goes, you should get a dog instead of a woman. And I said, why, drill sergeant? He said, lock a dog in a trunk of a car for 4 hours. Lock a woman in trunk of a car 4 hours. Open. Who's happy to see you?
My goodness.
True story.
Yeah.
Better story. I get early commissioned, and I go back to Fort Benning. I'm getting ready to go to Ranger School. I'm a second lieutenant, airborne air assault. Have my expert infantry badge already. I walk in and he's getting ready to retire. I went back. I already checked ahead. I knocked on his door. He opened it. He goes, son, I am so proud of you. He saw everything. It was a very touching moment for an older man that I had that connection with.
It's cool. Amazing the folks you meet along life journeys, especially folks like, I mean, there are certain folks that are going to be special, like your direct family, the spouse, the kids, your parents and stuff. But it's always fun, especially in the journeys you've had in your life, like all the characters along the way that you just never forget.
There are many. But you have to. I think about your broadcasting career, who you started with Dan. I mean, you always get these. You told me about your friend who, what's up, mother ever? You told me these people that they're just different people, but they're part and parcel of your story. Which is beautiful. So,
Now, you mentioned are you going to get a wife, Carico? And I'm looking at a Babylon Bee thing. So it's Babylon Bee. It is fake news.
Take it.
But it's from their family section.
Oh.
And it says, should you get a trad wife? Pros and cons.
Traditional wives, for those who don't know what trad is.
Let's read from the Babylon Bee. Many on social media these days are talking about the trend of trad wives, a totally new concept where women marry, have kids, take care of those kids, love their husbands, and engage in traditional homemaking tasks.
Oh.
But is a trad wife right for you? Before you head on over to the wife store, be sure to consider these pros and cons.
Okay.
Pro, when you marry her, she'll get a few chickens.
Ooh, That's a good one.
Con, within a year, you'll have way more than a few chickens. Pro, she has long, beautiful hair. Con, you have to clean the shower drains. Oh, heck, I'm already experiencing that problem.
Bro, you're cleaning your drains all the time.
Pro, homemade sourdough bread every single day.
What's wrong with that?
Con, you now weigh 300 pounds. Yeah, good fresh sourdough. Dadgum. You can do so much with it, too.
Bro, you toasted it so good.
Oh, I like it, especially if it's cut just right. Do a real thick grilled cheese and some tomato soup and dip that in
Make
there.
an even tomato sandwich out of it if you wanted to, man.
Yeah, and I throw like on one side actually a little Wagyu fat.
Ooh.
Grill it there, and that's where you put the cheese on, and the outside you get the butter, the buttered side. It's so good. Pro, she homeschools, so your kids are always around you. Con, she homeschools, so your kids are always around you. That's a good one. Pro, cans her own vegetables. Con, botulism.
And there's the Babylon Bee.
Oh, that's great. Pro, she's always barefoot, pregnant, and in the kitchen. Con, there's really no con to that now that we think about it. Pro, she loves babies and farm animals. Con, poop everywhere. Pro, she raises the kids herself, and now they're all super intelligent and interesting people. Con, you seem kind of dull in comparison. Pro, makes her own butter. Con, it takes forever.
Churn.
Pro, saves money with do-it-yourself projects. Con, you're actually the one doing them all. Pro, she believes in classical education and teaches your kids Latin. Con, oh no, they just summoned a demon. Pro, she's incredibly good with money. Con, all your money is in a friggin' envelope. Weigh each pro and con carefully, then go out and pick a wife. Hurry while supplies last.
I love it.
Babylon Bee. Okay, that one in particular, she, cans her own vegetables. Con, botulism. Man, the
or
bee are great.
conjures a demon in Latin.
Yeah, I like that
stuff.
Now, did you run into any of the protesters, any old ladies this weekend?
No, not at all.
Yeah, I didn't either.
So
I didn't feel great, but I've learned that, like, since I've been on my new regiment, this is just allergies, and I'll be back to normal, and I'm already feeling.
I was
back
worried
to
about
normal.
you on Friday. You said you weren't feeling too good.
Yeah, but that's just, it used to knock me out for weeks, but on the new regiment, it's like a day or two, and
do
it
you
goes
take
away.
honey? Do you eat a lot of natural honey?
No, I'm not a honey guy.
I need to hook you up. Colonel Holland, one of your favorite people.
Chuck's great.
He is in addition to being a poet, a cook, a bomber pilot, a nuclear trusted inspector, he also has his own bees. And if he's listening, his honey is outstanding. I will get you some, and it will help you with your allergens and all that.
Now, I'm sure you saw the news that Mayor Reed wants to hire his longtime friend, fraud convict, Don Watkins Jr.
Yeah.
Now, especially in the world of dark arts, great skills.
Yeah.
What is the benefit of recruiting somebody who's a little bit compromised? Not completely, like they can still be relied on and stuff, but there's something. What's the benefit of having
it? Lends air of legitimacy, even though they have that dark cloud hanging over them, that this man has been vetted by me and he's good. But then again, Steve Reed, he's about as trustworthy as a leaky boat.
The way I put it is, a lot of folks might see this as a corrupt or dumb mayor making a corrupt or dumb decision, having a fox guarding the hen house. But I think actually Stephen Reed's being very Machiavellian.
I think he's being very Machiavellian.
Yeah, and why would you want like a dutiful guard dog that always barks justice every time a hen goes missing? What you need is a fox that can lay traps, sniff out fox.
You need cover.
And also sometimes in local politics, you've got a few hens need to go missing. You know, like there's got to be a little thing under the table, behind the back.
I agree.
Sort of
and
stuff.
what about this? Yeah. He's got a maelstrom circling around him. Why not just have someone to take the heat off for a little while too?
Maybe
it's called a deflection shot.
Well, certainly got everybody's attention, and apparently, like I think the personnel board's about to meet. I don't even know what their authority is, though, to actually turn down a request
problem,
for
isn't
hire.
it, with city processes? Well, we have a committee for this, and we have a commission for that. Well, where are the vested powers at? I mean, when you've got commissioners that can't even get numbers on finances, that's a problem.
Now, did you see what Reed Ingram was saying with Brian Dawson in their sit-down interview?
No, I didn't.
And great interview, folks. A lot of y'all know Reed Ingram and have heard him on these airwaves for years now, and would love to have him back soon. But he did a sort of big video podcast, Sit Down with Brian Dawson on the 1819 News podcast.
Yep.
And, Reed Ingram explained that how Mayor Reed has refused to enforce recently enacted anti-loitering laws and neglected to recruit more police. Of course, Mayor Reed has tried to blame the violence on the state's quote-unquote lax gun laws. But Reed Ingram says it's due to the mayor's inability or unwillingness to prioritize public safety. Here, quoting Ingram direct, saying, Stephen is the only city mayor in the state that's not enforcing it because he's scared of the Southern Poverty Law Center. This is the anti-loitering law.
I know who they are. Yeah.
We've had 17 people get run over last year, standing in the middle of the road asking for money and drugs and everything else. We had 9 get killed last year in Montgomery alone, that were pedestrians that were standing there soliciting money or even walking in the road. Ingram went on to say that law enforcement did not appear to be a priority for Stephen Reed, as evidenced by the city's police force, which has now dwindled from 500 to around 200. And honestly, every time somebody's like, well, actual cops on the street, it's like 150 or it's 180 something, or and this is again the problem I was ranting about in the first hour. They won't tell us the exact number.
You know, it's
they won't be straight up about how the department is.
So in the military, in the Army, in the Navy, the Air Force, Marines, we have something called a 70% rule. If your unit is been degraded by 30%, then you're called combat ineffective. Think about what you just said. 200 down to, let's just say 500 down to 200.
Yeah.
That's greater than 50%.
Oh, yeah.
That means not combat ineffective and incompetent.
Well, and as long as I can remember, at least as I was paying attention, back when Dan Morris would say, get on to Todd Strange, Mayor Strange. I saw Todd the other day. Hope you're doing all right, Todd. He seemed to be doing good when I saw him.
That's good.
He didn't recognize me. I've changed.
Well, you have. You know what, Joe? You're like a chameleon. You can kind of morph.
Shape shifting and stuff.
Yeah, like who would that be? Mystique? Like Mystique?
Yeah, I'm just like Mystique. Exactly right. Now,
but you're not a girl. But you're not a girl.
No, I don't
care what Eddie says. Eddie, if you're listening, you can pound sand. I'm in charge now. And my brother over here, you continue to kick him, and I'm going to get you one day.
But while Dan Morris was giving Todd Strange our time, like it was always like, we're budgeted, we need 500 or we need 490, and it was always much lower than that.
Yeah.
But I would say, from my thinking on it, at least I would say 400. I think they're budgeted for 300. And when I see the chief of police saying, like, with the big events and the mass shooting that happened downtown, that, we had the personnel, you can look at the handbook. I'm like, I would say to him not to get on to the chief, because half the time it comes across he's in a hostage video.
Of course he is.
But I would say, Chief, could you not, if you had 100 more men, could you not do things that you can't do now?
He does not have force projection capability. He can barely maintain just
and the spread out over all the 20-something districts of this policing of the
Can't
city.
do that with that.
Good luck having 2 officers in a vehicle.
A good friend of mine, and I doubt he's listening because he works nights. Tony, Lieutenant, I'll leave it at that. No last name. He comes into the cigar store and he tells me, I got 6 crews right now running the entire northern part of the state. That's not enough. That's not enough. Dude.
It's not enough. And so Reed Ingram thinks it's not important for them to recruit. They put on a show that, hey, we're trying to get police officers. They may have 3 graduate from the academy. They may have 10 that retire because of conditions that are so bad, or maybe they're just getting old. I added that. They don't want to be a good department. So, I encourage everybody, go watch this whole thing. I don't have to characterize it for you. It is a top story there at 1819news.com. State Representative Ingram, rising crime in Montgomery, part of Mayor Reed's plan to control city, drive out conservative voters. So y'all go check that out, watch it. And speaking of Reed Ingram, this part of the program brought to you by Sweet Creek Farm Market.
What a great intro. Yeah,
I think they had a big old event, big old grand time with the Pumpkin Festival.
Festival.
Now, I don't think they did it on Sunday, but they said they'll be bringing it back.
I think they're going to do it through the 31st.
They'll be bringing it back soon.
Yep.
But folks, when it comes to Sweet Creek, it's a great place to shop local. local. By the way, it's also outside Montgomery city limits if you're annoyed with the city. But shop local. Local produce, delicious fresh apples, no wax, never sprayed.
They
Don't
got
get those
cider.
sprayed
Cider,
out.
man. They got that cider.
Especially
too.
fresh apples.
apple.
Doing that.
Yeah,
Fresh pears and plums.
Yeah.
How about some fresh farm eggs?
How about that? Or slide into the cafe and have a delectable lunch or dinner.
They got lots and lots of pumpkins over there. Every kind you can imagine, even gourds.
Gourds. That's what we used to make drinking.
Oh, yeah,
devices
yeah.
out of.
New crop sweet potatoes, new crop pecans, all
Man.
pecan and peanut candies, chocolate covered candies, baked goods, pecan pies, beautiful mums, and
Silver
other fall
Queen
decor.
corn on the cob, too.
Oh, man. They've got it all there at Sweet Creek.
Without a doubt.
So, again, if you're looking for a great spot to shop local, get by there today. Be sure to find Reed Ingram. Find the man who put this all together, who put together Sweet Creek Farm Market. They're just 2 miles south of Taylor Road on 231. And, of course, you can always check them out on the Book of Faces. Just search Sweet Creek Farm Market there on Facebook. And, again, find Reed Ingram and say, hey, I heard that Joey Clark fella on the radio talking about you. Wanted to stop by and shop local. Let's go to the phones here. You're on there. Who's us?
Hey, this is East.
Hey, East.
Hey, I wanted to ask Troy if maybe the Geneva Convention is enforced when you describe all of that cool stuff at Sweet Creek, man. And all I've had for lunch is a handmade sandwich from last night. That's tough. I don't know if maybe I could get get an advocate there.
East.
But look,
East. You don't need that sandwich. You just got to go. You got to go on Go Juice. You got to go on Go Juice. Okay. You don't need that sandwich. You can spare
that
it.
ship is sailed, man. If I
I'm messing with you, brother.
I'm not going to get anything done. Hey, look, Joey, I got to go to bat for the mayor. Okay.
Okay.
Why are you giving him such a hard time about Watkins? He couldn't hire Bernie Madoff because he's dead.
No, I think he was looking to have Ghislaine Maxwell run the community centers and watch over the kids. Right.
There you go. The children's program. So
The children's program.
Hey, this is wild to me. I don't know who's helping him with his PR, but I don't know. I still kind of think, and Troy, I understand what you're saying, but I think that they can do better than a convicted felon. Let me ask you this, Troy. What do you think about a Scottish basket hilt claymore like you'd use on horseback?
Oh, brother, listen, let me tell you something. This William Wallace recreation sword, which is a bastard sword, which is with the shank up high. I could imagine a claymore. A Scottish claymore is probably one of the finest weapons ever created for a mount, but it would require a lot of adept skill in maintaining the horse and being able to strongly use that claymore, because that claymore is a heavy weapon if you've ever held one.
Oh, it is. I
Are you a Campbell? Tell me you're not a Campbell East. If you're a Campbell,
No, I'm
I have to
not.
come kill you.
No, I'm a Henderson McDuffie, man.
Okay, McDuffie. McDuffie's a good. They're one of the good clans. So yeah.
Yeah. There you go. I got the. I almost bought a Henderson kilt, but my wife has some misgivings about me wearing them in the classic Scottish way. But dig this. I had a friend. I was the youth leader in his church, and when his kid graduated and went to work for NASA, he came in and gave me a basket hilt. It's a reproduction, but it's still, it's heavy and oh gosh, man, I actually got after a mad dog with it this time. Didn't have to use it, but you can imagine what would happen, So,
wild man in front yard with Scottish claymore chasing animals.
That's
I
right.
can see it. That sounds like downtown. Is that downtown? No. Oh no, that's not downtown. Okay.
No, they're Millbrook. Well, look, you guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you later.
Appreciate
All right,
you.
East.
Great hearing from you.
Yeah.
272-9228. Let's go to line 2. You're on there. Who's us?
Number 2. I'm going to be number 1.
Oh, Soldier Boy, what's up?
Well, you got the stick.
You're number one in our hearts, as far as you know.
As long as I'm not number 1 someplace else. Okay.
What's up, man?
Hey, I was just listening I get tired of listening to these pharmaceutical commercials on TV. Them and lawyers, I swear.
Oh yeah.
But a pharmaceutical company, they'll describe something that it's supposed to help, fix or cure or control, right?
Yeah.
And then they tell you the list of side effects, and then the list of severe side effects. My God. You don't want to take it.
You don't want oily discharge? You don't want oily fecal discharge?
No, I've said it before. My favorite was Jardiance. Yeah, and Jardiance is like
Jardiance?
it helps with your A1C and your energy levels and all sorts of stuff. It's kind of a general thing that kind of helps. And it's a bunch of people dancing and singing and having a good old time. Like, I'm on Jardiance. I feel wonderful. And then as they go into those side effects, in some incredibly rare cases, Jardiance can cause a lethal infection to the perineum. And so you're wondering, like, how did Joey Clark die? Well, he got an infected taint.
But he loved that Jardiance. He loved that Jardiance.
He thought Jardiance could help with that A1C.
It helped his A1C.
You ever notice that every medicine has side effects? Unbelievable. I got a couple of medicines the other day, and they gave me a whole notebook. And I was like, what's this? Oh, there's a list of how to use it and side effects. I'm like, good God. After reading all the side effects, hell, I'm better off just being sick.
Sometimes the cure is worse than the affliction, right?
Hey, what's the story about the mayor firing his personal assistant? It was not personal assistant, but
chief of staff.
Chief of staff.
Yeah, it's not exactly clear. There are rumors of it didn't end cordially. It didn't end friendly. That there was a little bit of a fight there. That's at least just a rumor.
You think
but how abrupt it was is very, and the
indicative.
timing of all this stuff is very interesting. The guy was, he was only became chief of staff for in 2024 October. So he was only there for a year. Crazy.
That's all it takes to figure out that you don't want to work for somebody.
That's what I was going to say. Why would you want to work for somebody who's letting people go left and right?
Yeah.
Hey, did you hear that they released my coach Napier?
No. Did they down in Florida?
Yeah, they fired. They're going to pay him $67 million. He won the Mississippi State game, but they still fired him.
It's crazy, isn't it? Today, the amount I was looking at some financials on college football versus pro football. It's so much bigger than pro football.
Oh yeah,
it's so much more at stake. Yeah.
It's ever who's the what do you call it? The taste of the month, or whoever's the cherry of the month.
Hey, there ain't no cherry of the month at Ohio State, brother. They are the defending national champions, and they are blasting.
Would you want to coach in the SEC? Hell no.
It's a bloodbath down there, man.
I mean, we're going to coach Arkansas. You're going to coach Kentucky. My God, you don't know if you're going to have a job because these alumni people are not going to settle for 5-5.
And I got to tell you something, Joey. I am I went to Ole Miss. So you all know I went to Ole Miss for my graduate degree. So I was there during the Ed Ogeron years, right after Coach said, I ain't leaving unless you put me in a pine box to get out of Oxford, Mississippi. Anyways, I'm there and I got my first taste of SEC football. And I can tell you this. I'm just saying this, Joey. Auburn. Everybody wants to say that they're glad that horseshoe fell out of your ass for being lucky. I want to tell you, you guys have had some hard knocks, and Arkansas gets hard knocks in the SEC. I got to tell you something. I'm just, as an objective observer, I'm watching that,
but this year, Auburn is just miserable to watch.
God, listen.
I kept saying, I'm trying not to get my hope up here. Try not to.
Yeah, but what is Auburn's record in the SEC? That's the measuring stick.
They haven't
big goose egg.
They haven't won a game yet in the SEC.
They're
3-4.
They don't care if you beat Baylor or they beat Nebraska or you beat Ohio State. You ain't won one damn game in the
Ohio
SEC.
State. Why did you throw them in there? Ohio State would.
Well, you know what I mean.
No.
But I'm
Let's
saying,
say Michigan instead of that. Just say Michigan, okay?
Michigan State, Spartans, okay.
No, Michigan.
But you know what I'm saying is the Michigan. I would. And here's another thing is too. How is it in this world when you get fired, you get millions of dollars for being unsuccessful and a loser?
Well, you're on the wrong side of the profession line.
That's what I am. I've got the
Me
wrong.
too.
I mean, is there not a coach out there who's got a buyout that's buku?
Look at Indiana, Kurt Signetti. What, $81 million for 8 years? And I'm going to tell you right now, he'll be hard pressed to maintain that for 8 years. But he's going to be all right. Gus Malzahn, anyone? Gus Malzahn, anybody?
Everybody well, here's what I think. I like that phone call that Lane Kiffin got on a podcast, and they asked him, what would it take for you to leave Ole Miss? He said I'd have to get 2 phone calls from 2 different colleges. He goes, really? He says, which one? He said, well, the first one's Alabama. I don't have to worry about that because I know they're not going to call me.
By the way, did you see?
Then he said the second one was Florida.
Yeah.
Florida, yeah.
Did y'all see the Lane Kiffin post that got everybody's attention?
What one?
It was a post showed him next to 2 young
Co-eds? Yeah,
women.
Co-eds, yeah.
But I think they looked older than college age. Like, yeah, here's
He's
the
a
clip.
player.
And he just captioned, he's got his shirt off. And I'd say for a 50-year-old dude, he's looking in great shape. But he says, thanks, guys, for an amazing workout this morning. And everybody, how many? It's got 31,000 likes, 15 million views.
That's
Everybody's like, yeah, workout. Here, I'll just show the photo of it.
Oh, yeah. It looks good. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
trainers.
Then Lane Kiffin went back to left his girlfriend and went back to his wife and his family.
So you know what's funny is
Yeah, but everybody still thinks
you know
he's
what
a
they say
dirty
at Ole
dog.
Miss. If you've never been to the Grove, good friend of mine, Rick. You know Rick Payne that owns manager of the cigar store. He said, "I'll tell you what, Troy. Every time I go to the game there, it's like they lock up all the ugly girls."
I tell you, the Grove. If
It's a
anybody
great
ever
place.
gets a
It's a
chance,
great place.
before
It's a
you
great
die, you got to at least tailgate.
It is
there
a
one
great
time.
experience for sure.
But you know who feeds you? You know who feeds you the best and it's most friendliest?
LSU fans.
LSU. How'd you know, man? I never ate so much
SEC
Cajun food in my freaking life. They're like, come on over here. I said, I don't want to buy none. I ain't got no money. No, baby, it's free.
Hasa Bomb on Yanko Bone. I want somebody to have Bobby. Is
Man,
it Bobby
they
Boucher?
feed you until you burst before the game even starts. I tell you, they are some fun people, LSU. Win or lose, hate them or not, they know how to take care of the fans.
Hey, here's a funny story before we part with it, Soldier Boy. So Urban Meyer, whom I know many of you hate, but I love. But listen, so when he took the Ohio State job, he's sitting at the desk with Gene Smith. Gene Smith takes a piece of paper, folded over in half. He goes, "Would you like to see the job description?" Urban goes, "Yeah." He hands it over to him. He opens
Gene
it.
Smith is quarterback, right?
What's that?
Gene Smith, quarterback.
No, Gene Smith was the athletic director. He said, "Would you like to see the job description?" He said, "Yeah." And he opens it up, Joey, and it says, "Win every effing game." And he goes, he put it folded. He goes, "I've been in a lot of places." He said, "I've been in Florida. That was never the job description. Win every game." It's like
That's so wrong.
that's all that's
man.
accepted, man. All right, man.
Well, I appreciate it, Soldier Boy. I got
All right, thanks, guys. Later.
272-9228. Let's fit in line one here for the break. You're on there. Who's this?
No, it's Papa B.
Hey, Papa B.
I don't know where anybody got the idea that Auburn never had any kind of luck. we have never had a luck. This team, our team, has been the most punished for with bad calls for time immemorial. I've been an Auburn fan all my life. I'm 64 years old, and I cannot remember even one year where we got any kind of break.
Well, the reason I say that is I've had Bammers come up and say, you know what? They just so many times that kick six, all these things that have happened. I'm like, you know what? That's just football. But that's not officials messing with you. Like that's what happens with you guys. It seems like you guys are constantly being flagged for something.
No, but this year has been so miserable to watch. I'm tempted to go on to Auburn's campus and be like, repent, the day of the Lord is nigh.
I know, right?
Oh.
Well, somebody needs to read the art of the deal when they're hiring these stupid coaches too. I mean, the very idea you're going to pay them millions of dollars to leave. Are you kidding me?
We're in the wrong profession.
These kind of deals.
Papa B, you need to go coach some football. You need to go coach some football. You're in the wrong profession. I am too.
I swear. It doesn't matter if you're any good or not.
It's true.
Get hired at Auburn. You'll be okay.
Get hired at Auburn. You'll have a lake house before you know it.
I mean, the next day for sure. But look, I mean, if they would be a little bit smart here and just demote Freeze, don't fire him.
Okay.
Just demote him down to water boy or something,
and not have to pay that big payout.
They wouldn't have to pay that big payout. No kidding.
I agree.
Might be on something there.
Do something smart for a change. I don't know who we're going to get. This has been just a merciless journey that we've been on, and it reminds me a lot of the journey that Alabama was on for a while.
Remember the Shula years? Y'all remember the Shula years?
I mean, it got bad for them. I never did feel sorry for them, but
time. I was just wondering how long this last, but I don't know. Have y'all heard of anybody that's worthwhile that they might be looking at?
I've heard a couple names come down. I think the fellow down at South Florida, can't remember his name right off the top of the head. And then of course James Franklin's available, but I don't think that's real. I haven't heard anything solid yet. I haven't. Dan Mullen. I heard Dan Mullen from UNLV, who's put together a pretty good season over there. Those are some of the names I've heard.
Whoever it is, the first and literally the first lesson they need to learn is do not run pre-freaking defense, prevent defense.
Yeah, that don't win any ball games. I don't win any ball games.
It never works. Anyway, all right, guys. Have a good one.
Appreciate it, Bobby. This is part of the program. In fact, the entire hour brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And they're at Alabama Home Mortgage. Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon are ready to help you out, whether you're looking to buy a place or if you're looking to refinance that current place. They specialize in open veterans.
Man, you know what? Every time I'm on, we talk about that. And their turnaround time, Joey, is like 30 days on VA loans, which is unheard of.
Oh, even faster than that.
And, a lot of veterans think, I've already used my one time. It ain't one time. It's an indefinite kind of period for
I've seen on their refinance, it's like 2 weeks.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
amazing.
Really incredible stuff. And there are a lot of veterans walking around whether you're looking to buy a home or refinance your current home, and they think I already used my
my benefit
or I don't qualify because I did this or that. And it's like, honestly, I think you're not looking into it in the right way. Call up the pros there at Alabama Home Mortgage.
Yeah.
And they, again, specialize. They're up to speed on the latest with the VA home loan programs. And even if you're not a veteran and you're looking for a trusted team, they can walk you through the home buying process, get you the best possible deal. Or if you're looking to refinance, get debt off your back, restructure debt, could be you're looking to reinvest in your property or your family, they can help you there. So just check them out today. You can always call them direct at 567-4223. That's 567-4223, or visit them on the web, apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Like Kim and Madeline proved that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. What is a smart way to buy a house in today's market? Now is a good time to buy since we now have a more balanced market than we've had in years. Here are the steps. First step, get pre-qualified with an experienced local lender. It costs you nothing to find out firsthand whether you can qualify for a home and how much that home loan will cost. Second step, hire a local realtor with lots of experience that can guide you, advise you, and be your advocate. We call those buyer agents. Third step, decide what your wants and needs have to be. Bedrooms, baths, floor plan, location, and school zones. Fourth, ask your realtor to line up homes that fit your price category and your location needs. Fifth, start actually looking inside these homes and see what is available and the cost of each property. For all of this information and step-by-step approach, call Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225.
I'm Jim Smith with Adams Drugs. At Adams Drugs, we offer a wide variety of services, including delivery, compounding, wellness clinics, and immunizations. Now is the time to visit any Adams Drugs location and get your flu shot. Getting an annual flu shot can help prevent you from getting the flu, reduce the severity of symptoms if you get the flu, and prevent serious complications such as hospitalization and death. Getting your flu shot at Adams Drugs protects you from getting sick, but it also makes sure that those around you, especially those at high risk, remain safe. Each year, up to 49 million people in the U.S. contract the flu. Depending on the flu virus's severity, deaths as a result of flu complications could skyrocket to 79,000 people nationwide. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for a location nearest you. Adams Drugs is your local, independently owned Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Holy cow, Benji. Gold has gone up to $4,000 an ounce. How can our audience cash in at Marguerite's?
At Marguerite's, we do more than sell jewelry. We also buy jewelry. If you have old jewelry, broken jewelry, jewelry that you don't know what it is, bring it to us and we'll pay you for it. So don't let your old jewelry collect dust. Let Marguerite's pay you for it. Take advantage of gold being at an all-time high. Come see us at Marguerite's and let us give you some money.
Tell them where they can find you, Benji.
We're at 8163 Vaughn Road at the Pepper Tree Shopping Center. We're open 7 days a week.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. At PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Looking for insurance, or maybe you're just not satisfied with your current carrier? How does quality coverage with local service and competitive rates sound to you? The folks at Stark Agency offer just that. Whether you need insurance for your business, car, home, or life, Stark Agency can help. As an independent insurance agency with over 20 of the top insurance carriers, Stark is sure to find the perfect match for you and your loved ones. Visit their site at starkagency.com or give them a call at 334-263-5535 for a quote today.
New CBS Tonight.
All right, people, all hands on deck.
FBI is back.
I don't really recognize the world anymore. My team saw things, survived things.
There's something else going on here. Something bigger.
FBI, don't move!
I know what kind of people you are, and I'm not giving up. We are FBI, and we still have a job to do to protect people. Let's move.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From little fender benders to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For 4 decades, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. What a change of reality with this new fresh air. Sunshine today, cool, comfortable, high in the mid-70s. Clear skies, colder tonight. Overnight low temperature down to about 46. More sun, low 80s tomorrow. Wednesday's high only 74. Coldest morning will be Thursday morning in the low 40s. And how about 70s for a high Thursday, Friday, Saturday? Our coolest fall week of the season so far. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Live local talk, the River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Troy Carico.
Carico. Do that.
Carico.
Carico.
I got too big of a
You got to have that.
I can't.
Do you speak French?
I can do that, but I can't do the rolling of the R's.
Yeah, there's kind of, yeah.
I was actually in French Honor Society.
I believe you were.
But I can't speak a lick of it.
I can't speak a lick of it.
Now, seriously, I didn't go to class when I took French in college.
Yeah.
And I had to like stuff in and study for the exam because the grade really only mattered with final exam, which was kind of cool.
That's cool.
And so I literally hit the walls, pasted on the walls, everything, and just did that for like 2 days straight. Like he's going crazy. Yeah, it's like,
wow.
And so, but the amazing thing is, like, I got an A. I passed. I figured out tricks. Like, I can speak a lick of it, but I figured out, okay, this is what this is. This is it. Yeah, just rote memorization.
Yeah, isn't that though? Isn't that what you pay for at college?
No,
a lot of times?
No, I think it was a grift.
It really was.
Waste of money.
It really was.
Some people it's not, but generally speaking, it's just not my sort of thing. Now, Trump today, very happy about all sorts of stuff he's up to, but he was very upset. This is just a classic little Trump moment because he's beautifying, as he puts it, the White House.
Okay,
like adding all sorts of new things.
Got the ballroom coming. We're going to have a UFC event there. It's going to be great,
and all the gold. So apparently, Trump added. He brought up a 400-year-old mirror to put in this room.
He gets us out of the National Archives or something. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, just brought it up from the basement, and then so of course the press is obnoxious and getting into the room and out of the room and yelling stuff.
Equipment anywhere in the world by far, and you got to watch that. Watch that. You're not allowed to break that. That mirror is 400 years old. A camera just hit the mirror.
Don't break it.
Yeah. Just moved it up here special from the vaults, and first thing that happens, the camera hits it. Hard to believe, isn't it? Hard to believe, but these are the problems in life.
No, and seriously, his attention to detail is it's crazy. It's absurd.
He's so funny. Hey, listen, it's his world and we're living in it, and it's a very funny world too, I think.
But he is maintaining, despite the flurry of news reports you get back and forth in Gaza.
You saw what happened earlier, right?
Yeah. But, well, here, let's listen to him first. This was again earlier this morning talking about the deal.
Sure.
Actually, hold on real quick. This for some reason crapped out on me, and I have to reshare it on the stream here. But this is him discussing that deal, which I think is still holding, but not. It's being tested. I'll put it that way.
We have 59 countries that agreed to the deal. We have a peace in the Middle East for the first time ever. We made a deal with Hamas that, they're going to be very good. They're going to behave. They're going to be nice. And if they're not, we're going to go and we're going to eradicate them if we have to. They'll be eradicated. And they know that. So they went in. They went in. And I don't believe it was the leadership, but they had some rebellion in there among themselves, and they killed some people, a lot of people. But this is a violent group. You probably noticed over the last 100 years, this is a very violent group of people. And they got very rambunctious, and they did things that they shouldn't be doing. And if they keep doing it, then we're going to go in and straighten it out, and it'll happen very quickly and pretty violently, unfortunately.
So, things popped off a little bit.
The problem, I think, with the premise of his statement is that that they are even allowing the presence of Hamas. He kind of doubled back last week and said, well, we told them that, they can kind of get things in order. And then there were all these extrajudicial killings. There was mortars fired into some of the settlements where they invaded in October 7.
I saw competing reports. Israelis say some Hamas fighters came out from the tunnels and killed people.
Yeah.
And I saw other reports that no, it was actually an IED.
It was an IED, I heard.
Yeah.
But the problem is
it had been sitting there for a while.
Sure.
Right.
And the problem is this, Joey. The two most important parts of the 20-piece tenet of the Middle East peace have yet to be rectified and actually decided upon: disarming and disbanding of Hamas and the governance of the new Palestinian Authority. So that's a problem, man.
Oh, it definitely is. It's just that I think their vision is actually one of the most hopeful things I've seen out of this, because I'm so tired of the eggheads who have been, part of the UN and the whole two-state thing. And okay, let's try a different approach first.
Yeah, agreed.
Before immediately going to that big political solution. Now, this is a little bit of a clip The full thing's out there. It's a whole hour on 60 Minutes with Steve Witkoff, the chief special envoy, and Jared Kushner, who they brought in to help secure this. Of course, Kushner married to Ivanka Trump.
Yes.
And let's listen in to this particular exchange because I think he's on to something.
October 7th for me was a shattering day. Since then, my heart has not been complete.
But then Kushner brought up the Gazans.
To see the suffering end for the people in Gaza, who, for most of them, were experiencing this through no fault of their own.
The biggest message that we've tried to convey to the Israeli leadership now is that now that the war is over, if you want to integrate Israel with the broader Middle East, you have to find a way to help the Palestinian people thrive and do better.
How are you doing with that message?
We're just getting started.
October 7th for me.
We're exploring markets.
and some of this is fascinating because people were left guessing in between the lines. And of course, like because it's fast and furious and the passions are very high.
Absolutely.
I don't know what to believe, but now you're getting it from the principals that were actually in the room.
Right.
It's very clear there were moments of where Trump not only had to tell Hamas or the Qataris or other folks, shut up and sit down. Yeah. They also had to do that with the Israelis.
Sure.
Apparently, I think with Israel's national security guy.
Yeah, the national security advisor.
It was a pretty hardcore conversation. Let's just
come to Jesus. No pun intended.
But here is talking about one episode, and this is when it happened. Not that long ago. Yeah. Where the Israelis bombed Qatar, bombed Doha.
That was about a month and a half, maybe about 6 weeks ago. Yeah.
A lot of negotiations were going on. So let's listen in. This is again Witkoff and Jared Kushner on 60 Minutes discussing some behind the scenes of this.
We woke up the next morning to find out that there had been this attack. Wow. And of course, I was called by the president.
You had no idea, obviously.
None whatsoever. You know, I think both Jared and I felt, we felt a little bit betrayed.
Now, I had heard that the president, that he was furious.
I think he felt like the Israelis were getting a little bit out of control in what they were doing, and that it was time to be very strong and stop them from doing things that he felt were not in their long-term interests.
People should understand that Netanyahu, the Israelis, bombed the peacemakers, bombed the negotiating team.
And by the way, Leslie, it had a metastasizing effect because the Qataris were critical to the negotiation, as were the Egyptians and the Turks. And we had lost the confidence of the Qataris. Right. And so Hamas went underground, and it was very, very difficult to get to them. And
they were your link to Hamas.
Absolutely.
You were dealing through the Qataris to make your proposals to Hamas.
And it became very, very evident as to how important and how critical that role was.
And then there's another fascinating moment where he opens up about how personal he is. And I'm talking about Steve Witkoff. Like how he will deal with people, and the way they're able to get things done is literally personal relationships and understanding one another, and like the pains that we might feel. So let's listen into this moment.
To the room, the lead negotiator was sitting right next to me.
That negotiator was in Doha when the Israelis struck.
Correct.
He survived, but his son was killed. Is that right?
That's right. And we expressed our condolences to him for the loss of his son. He mentioned it. And I told him that I had lost a son and that we were both members of a really bad club, parents who have buried children.
Witkoff's son, Andrew, died of an opioid overdose at the age of 22.
When Steve and him spoke about their sons, it turned from a negotiation with a terrorist group to seeing two human beings kind of showing a vulnerability with each other.
Is it true that once the deal was agreed to, that the Israelis there at that meeting and the Qataris began to hug each other?
Absolutely. And I thought to myself, I wish the world could have seen it. So we got into the room.
Yeah, and it's, again, all the, in particular, and this is what is kind of nuts to me, is from both sides of the commentariat out there. From hardcore Zionists to hardcore anti-Zionist, everybody crapping on Steve Witkoff.
Sure.
And then you had not only the partisans, but the diplomatic corps. Who's this guy? He's a real estate guy. He doesn't know what he's doing. Jared Kushner and stuff. And you hear a little bit of their actual approach. And I'm like, oh, this makes sense why these guys No, what they're doing in one part on the clip, they said Trump knew them so well that it allowed them the ability to move fast and to make things up on the fly.
Right. Pragmatic.
Whereas most diplomats are always having to run it back up the chain. Can I actually say this or that? No, Trump said, I trust you to.
Yep.
I trust your instincts. Y'all can lead on this. Of course, I'll have to sign off, but y'all can actually use your own wits.
Give some pragmatism to the negotiations. And, whenever you're meeting with foreign dignitaries or anything, my experience has been the first thing you need to do is you need to build rapport. You have to build a connection with them at a human level, not a national or transnational level. I understand, there's a great book. It's about 80 pages. It's called Getting to Yes. It's by Robert Fisher and William Ury. It's the Harvard Negotiation Project, which talks about principles versus positions. And when you get down to the principle that we are fathers, we are parents, we're losing children, that changes the dynamics, Joey, of the negotiation spectrum.
Well, and it's fascinating too. And I think you're seeing Trump do this now with the whole Russia-Ukraine thing. Like at a certain point, he'll beat up on one side and then he'll be real nice and beat up the other side. Then he'll be real nice. Then he'll piss off both sides. And like he is going all over the place trying to just batter people.
There's a method to
while
that
cajoling
madness,
them to like, you have that personal touch.
Sure.
Like think of the first lady being pen pals with Putin now about saving kids.
About the children.
Think of how Witkoff spent 5-6 hours with Putin on the initial visit.
He did.
And so you have the sort of the carrot and stick thing. And now that's going to be real tough to stop, because even Trump is saying just freeze the lines, give the Russians what they got. And the Russians are like, no, we're going to take the whole oblast. So I think it really does come down to the Russians. They think they're the strong horse. We're in the stronger position. We're not going to stop till we meet our demands. And maybe Trump can work his magic. Who knows? Who knows? But it's interesting to see how, like in the first term, everybody's like, you can't, we're about to go to war with North Korea. Everybody's saying it's Barack Obama warned Trump. It was what he wrote in the letter about North Korea. And all these folks are like, what's he doing when fat little rocket man?
My little rocket man.
And my button works. And
I have bigger missiles than you do.
And people are freaking out, all these career people. And then all of a sudden,
it's like a father-son relationship.
He has this breakthrough.
And he's like, they were friends. That was like he looked up to him.
And so I think it's
but think about what
refreshing.
you just said. What do you think someone who has Napoleonic syndrome, this is called Kim Jong-un, and a newcomer to the weapons of mass destruction, he wants recognition. He wants bona fides. He wants to have status. And that's what Trump gave him. And that calmed him down.
Well, we got to hit a quick break here. Lost track of time. We'll be right back, hopefully with Michael Cohen with Cohen's Electronics and Appliances.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Want that ride that is fun, affordable, and street legal? Check out ETG Outdoors in Montgomery. They have huge discounts on electric golf carts with many brand new units under 10 grand. New and used inventory, financing available, and they service what they sell. ETG Outdoors even provides lithium battery conversions and free delivery with purchase. Whether it's for the neighborhood, the farm, or just fun, ETG Outdoors, 7006 Vaughn Road, or online at etgoutdoors.com. Cruise smarter, drive electric. ETG Outdoors, your ride to freedom starts here.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice, News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Michael Cohen with Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Hey, Michael, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Joey. How are you?
Doing all right. I don't want to talk about football over the weekend. What's the score there today at Cohen's, though?
37-20.
Ooh.
Anyway, Alabama had a great game. Anyway, I'm sorry about your team.
Yeah, no, good for y'all and all that. Anyway,
anyway.
Just rubbing it in, man. Just rubbing it in.
I'm sorry. Well, on a different note, we did have a nice little old lady that called us up this morning, probably 8:15ish, talked about her TV that's about 10 years old. And anyway, Michael talked to her and told her that if she came in today, we could probably get it out today. So he's finishing up on some of his calls. She just came in with her husband, picked out the 55-inch TV that we talked about. And so anyway, probably within an hour and a half, she'll have a new TV at her home, and she'll get to enjoy all the latest and greatest pictures that the Samsung has to offer.
So, folks, whether it's TVs or audio solutions, or maybe you're a man who doesn't have a proper grill, they got those. And, of course, the whole appliance side. Say you want to build out a kitchen or something from scratch, hit up Cohen's. They can definitely help you out. And you can always shop at home at thinkcohens.com. But I encourage you to stop by the Boulevard. That's 2515 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery, open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturdays. And find Michael and tell him that you heard sad War Eagle Joey talking to Roll Tide Michael Cohen on there.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the biggest part is coming in here, asking us some questions. Let us ask you some questions, and let us help you make the right choice for whatever your needs are, whether it's appliances, whether it's electronics, or if it's just troubleshooting because whatever you got's not performing like it should be performing. We can try to help guide you to get it repaired, or maybe it's old enough that it's time to get it replaced. But come by and let us help you make the right choice.
Well, I appreciate it as always, Michael. Talk to you soon.
All right, take care.
Again, that's Michael Cohen with Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Again, be sure to tell him Joey sent you. Final hour coming up.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Colombia has recalled its envoy after President Trump's tariff threat. He called the leader there a drug leader and says he's not doing enough to crack down on the illegal drug trade. The Senate is set to vote again today on whether to reopen the government. House Speaker Mike Johnson expressing his frustration again that the Democrats have refused to do that now for 10 times in a row. Americans say they're increasingly concerned about their ability to find a job. That's according to an Associated Press NORC Center for Public Affairs research poll. They're also concerned about rising prices. President Trump says the U.S. could purchase Argentinian beef in an attempt to bring down prices for American consumers. U.S. beef prices have been stubbornly high for a variety of reasons. Right now on Wall Street, the Dow's up 543 points. This is SRN News.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/Mike.
The sage from South Central has returned. Larry Elder is back and better than ever on the Larry Elder podcast.
Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina. I mean, he ran the table.
Don't gloat, Larry. People are sick of being told that things are better now than they were 3.5 years ago.
Maybe if Beyonce had sung a song or two, the outcome would have been somewhat different. It's just my theories. Just some theories I have.
Subscribe to the Larry Elder podcast today on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Rumble, or at SalemPodcastNetwork.com.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you
to you by McPhillips Shinbaum.
My name is Aaron Luck, a partner with the law firm of McPhillips Shinbaum. If you or someone in your family has been seriously injured by the negligence of someone else, call me directly.
262-1911. Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. What a change of reality with this new fresh air. Sunshine today, cool, comfortable, high in the mid-70s. Clear skies, colder tonight. Overnight low temperature down to about 46. More sun, low 80s tomorrow. Wednesday's high only 74. Coldest morning will be Thursday morning in the low 40s. And how about 70s for a high Thursday, Friday, Saturday? Our coolest fall week of the season so far. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
1819 News.
U.S. Senator Katie Britt is fully endorsing President Trump and his recent announcement to reduce the price of in vitro fertilization procedures. Trump announced a deal with pharmaceutical companies in reducing the cost of the necessary fertility drugs that are sold here in the U.S. Trump also wants to relax restrictions for employers in covering the IVF procedures. Senator Britt was with President Trump when he made all of these announcements, which was this past Thursday. Britt says the decision from the Trump administration will impact thousands of couples experiencing fertility problems who are seeking to have children through IVF. President Trump also said he'll be taking action to prevent infertility issues that are caused by lifestyle, diet, and environmental factors. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Covenant Grocery Group seeks to directly support organizations and agencies that are fighting the global battle against human trafficking. They do this through funding, procuring, and advocating. You can go to covenantrescue.org for further details. They need your donations, guys. Hop on and donate.
A decision to increase rates by the Alabama Beverage Control Board has now revived an ongoing issue with certain state lawmakers when it comes to the state being involved in liquor sales at all. 1819 News intern Dobbs Duell has more.
The Alabama Beverage Control Board has increased its bailment fee from 72 cents to $1 per case. The ABC Board Administrator Curtis Stewart claims that the increase is necessary to compensate for the cost of building the new ABC warehouse. State Senator Arthur Orr has introduced multiple bills in an effort to privatize ABC stores to no avail. Orr stated that Alabama is clinging to the past by using a government business to compete with the private sector. I'm Dobbs Duell for 1819 News.
Publix Grocery Stores has put out a recall of ice cream sold in 6 states, including Alabama. The Publix rich and creamy vanilla ice cream may have an undeclared egg allergen in it. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
This is David Ernest from the Health and Wealth Show, and if you can hear this, we want to come see you.
You heard right!
David Ernest and the crew from the Health and Wealth Show want to come to your town just to say hello. All you have to do is let them know who you are and where you are. It's as simple as that.
It can't be that simple.
Oh, yes, it is.
What do we have to do?
Write your name on the back of a $20 bill. Then, sorry, that's the wrong offer. If you would like David Ernest and the crew from the Health and Wealth Show to come visit you, call toll-free 833-596-7233. That's 833-596-SAFE. Tell us your name. Tell us where you are. Tell us your phone number. And maybe we'll come see you. If that method is not to your liking, get on Facebook. Go to Ernest Financial, Montgomery, Alabama. Click on the page. Then click on the pinned post at the top, and there's all the information you need. David Ernest wants to come see you. Brought to you by Ernest Financial, LLC, serving the community for over 40 years.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Pestruccelli, General Sales Manager and co-owner of Blue Water Broadcasting. For over 21 years, Blue Water Broadcasting has been a proud part of the River region. We're not just a company, we're your neighbors. Our owners, air staff, account executives, and support team all live right here. We believe in this community, and we stand by our slogan, Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
Do you have real estate problems? Whether you're facing foreclosure, inherited a property, or have costly repairs, we understand. At Rapid Fire Home Buyers, we're here to help. Any condition, any situation, we'll give you an honest cash offer for your home so you can move forward. Because when real estate problems cause you uncertainty, you deserve a solution you can trust. Any condition, any situation, we're here to help. Give Rapid Fire Home Buyers a call today at 334-675-1000. That's 334-675-1000.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Troy Carrico here in the studio with me.
Good day.
And it's good to see Wayne Brady still doing well hosting Let's Make a Deal. For some reason,
You know,
that's
I'm up there watching. I'm up there. Is that Ben Franklin?
Yeah, or something like that. But, you know, I occasionally throw on like old ABC 90s, whose line is it anyway?
Sure.
And it's fun to see like all the kids of that show, you know, the kids of Drew Carey go on, and in particular Wayne Brady. I mean, I can't imagine how much money he's making doing that gig.
I'm doing a great thing. You know what's funny about you speak of Drew Carey. Did you know he hosts, right? The Price is Right, but you know who produces it, don't you? Adam Sandler.
I didn't know that.
Adam Sandler is now the producer of that game show series. So it's his big thing.
All right. Now, apparently we're still in a government shutdown. Have you felt anything yet?
My friends, a good friend of mine has not reported to work now with the Air Force for like 3 weeks going into the 4 weeks. So,
yeah. And it's getting tighter and tighter for very essential things. Here is our own Senator Katie Britt, joined Face the Nation with Margaret Brennan. I'm like, you tell it.
You tell her what's up. You tell her what's up.
Tell her. And she does, actually.
She ain't afraid of anything.
Let's listen in. This is Senator Britt.
First of all, Margaret, we need to reopen the government. Democrats need to come to the table and do the right thing. Just as I've been traveling the state this weekend, I have heard countless stories of people who are not getting a paycheck, whether it's our men and women in uniform or those who serve alongside them, or whether we're talking to veterans or we're talking to just a number of people when we're looking at what's happening with WIC. There are a lot of people that are being affected by the Democrats playing politics, and they need to actually do what's right, and that is work for the American people. And so getting the government open is number one. So we need to vote on this CR and open the government back up. We've also given alternatives like in-government shutdown. And I think you'll see this week, if the Democrats don't come to the table, saying, look, a Shutdown Fairness Act, making sure that the people who are working are actually getting paychecks. Because, Margaret, these have real consequences for American people. And when we're talking about the ACA, look, Leader Thune said it best. We have always said we will have a conversation about this. We believe that you can walk and chew gum at the same time. Democrats, for some reason, don't think that that's possible. They need to come to the table, open the government back up, and then we're happy to have a conversation about the broken system that they created and help them get out of their own mess.
I had no idea that what they're talking about, the Democrats talking, only accounts for 4% of the coming increases. That's crazy.
It's if you think about the magnitude or the lack thereof, why we shut the government down. But well,
and I think that's a very effective message Senator Britt is delivering for the GOP in the Senate.
Absolutely.
But there's another perspective. Always the gadfly, Rand Paul.
Oh boy.
And actually, I think
Kentucky. Why has Kentucky got so much crap?
Because they love liberty, man, and they like consistent gadflies.
I'm a proud son of
both him and Thomas Massey, proud gadflies. I don't think they always get it right.
Don't get Mitch McConnell. You forgot about Mitch McConnell.
I think though, for all the heat they get, because they don't always go with the team, they're some of the most principled people and straight up people you'll meet up there. Now you can take that for whatever you think their principles are wrong. But that's where whenever I see like Trump posting about Massey or Rand Paul, you're like, Rand Paul defended you in the whole Russiagate thing when nobody else would, dude.
You're right about that.
And so there are plenty of instances where they're part of the team. It's just like, and especially I think Senator Paul is correct on this. One of the biggest things the Trump administration has failed to do, maybe they can pull it off with massive economic growth, is the debt and deficit is still too damn high.
Listen,
and not
no matter what you do, no matter how you size it up with the big, beautiful bill, we're growing our deficit.
Oh, yeah, big time. So here is Senator Paul kind of making his point. He's not necessarily with Democrats. He's not with the current Republicans, but he'll lay it out.
Yeah. Senator, do you share some of the blame for this government shutdown?
The way I look at these votes is they're determining the spending level. So the legislation doesn't say, do you want to keep government closed or keep it open? Both parties, when they're in power and the roles change, are guilty of saying, oh, you want to shut the government down. Even though I'm not with the Democrats, I didn't vote for their Democrat spending bill, and I didn't vote for the Republican spending bill. I did so because the spending levels lead to an enormous amount of deficit. The Republican bill will lead to $2 trillion in deficit next year. The Democrat bill, $3 trillion in deficit. So I opposed both. But it's not really that I oppose shutting the government down. So I'm in favor of paying the troops. I'm in favor of paying all of the employees that are currently working. And if that procedure or that vote comes before us next week, which I think there's a chance that it will, I will support that. I voted to get onto the defense appropriation bill last week, which means moving forward towards opening the government and spending the money. Doesn't mean I agree with the level of spending, but I think they're not exactly the same vote.
Okay.
And I think he makes a good point.
I think he makes a great point. I can't argue again.
And it's frustrating that as much as it is kind of the Democrats versus Republican thing on the shutdown, Rand Paul's the one voice out there going, both y'all's spending levels suck.
Well, and he's right. And I think if you truly are a dyed-in-the-wool Republican or a conservative, you have to admit the government continues to grow at an exponential rate, and that's not in our best interest.
Now, here's the top economic advisor to the president. This is the National Economic Council Director, Kevin Hassett.
Yeah.
And he's laying out how he thinks they're going to cry uncle this week after the No Kings protests. Let's listen in.
Well, first of all, the president has been very active throughout this process, but it's also his position that this is a thing that the Senate needs to work out. A lot of our friends in the Senate have said that it was just bad optics for Democrats to open the government before the No Kings rally, and that now there's a shot that this week things will come together and very quickly the moderate Democrats will move forward and get us an open government, at which point we could negotiate whatever policies they want to negotiate with regular order. Now, I was very pleased to see that my friend Senator Shaheen from New Hampshire, a very sound-minded Democrat, came out and supported opening the government on Friday. So it means that there's sort of cracks in the Schumer armor. I think the Schumer shutdown is likely to end sometime this week. But I can tell you that if the story that we've been basically hearing from moderates that, look, we just can't do it in front of the No Kings rally, if that ends up not being true, then I think that the White House is going to have to look very closely, along with Russ Vought, at stronger measures that we could take to bring him to the table.
Ooh, that's a fun little veiled threat right there.
It surely was. And what's even better is now that the No Kings is over, because we know that that's what's driving Schumer, that dark money that's under. I read an interesting article I think I sent you about how the weaponization of homelessness and of all these nonprofits that support it are really fronts for the resistance against Trump.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I've also seen what's the term, telescopic charity?
Yeah, telescopic.
Where you never actually get up close where you have to smell them. It's a very elitist, like I give a lot of money, and God love you for giving money to charities.
Yeah, that's great.
But often are they solving the problem? How many millions of dollars have been poured into government and nonprofits in California, and nothing actually gets done?
Good, yeah.
Especially when you're talking about with folks who are literally insane, out of their mind, and need help, or folks that are drug-addled and thus insane and need help. Like just giving blankets is one thing, and you should, and feeding the hungry. Sure. This is what we're called to do, but it also comes across sometimes as, look how wonderful I am. It's a very proud piety.
It's very, it is not beneficent. It is self-serving is what it is.
Right. And so,
speaking of which,
what a mess.
I wrote about mental health.
Would you like to jump into that now?
Do we have time?
Yeah, we got time.
Speaking of mental health, Joey, and I know that's near and dear to you as it is to me, where's the accountability for Alabama's woeful mental health system? The definition of insanity, Joey, is doing the same things over and over and expecting different results. Isn't it ironic that above maxim comes from the 12-day community to mental health practice? The problem with irony, though, Joey, is not everybody gets it. I said, it seems that not everybody gets it that needs mental health treatments in the state of Alabama. We routinely find our beloved state ranked amongst the worst in the union by external studies. Yet, even our own Alabama Commission on the Evaluation of Services, the ACES report, releases well-researched reports showing problems in Alabama's Department of Mental Health. Latest examples came in September when ACES released an evaluation of mental health crisis centers in Alabama. Opens with an ominous note that the Alabama Department of Mental Health has deficient strategic control, which leads to a lack of accountability. The report goes on to more specifics, concerns, including logistical barriers, including transportation and EMS reimbursements, lack of clarity regarding uniform data standards, a lack of quality control and accountability in reporting, an imbalance between current funding and actual needs of each center. These findings should alarm the state's taxpayers. As the report notes, Alabama dedicated nearly $175 million in state funds for open and operate crisis centers since 2021. Yet this likely does not even account for the many additional millions shoveled into the ADMH in recent years via the opioid settlement agreements to the tunes of hundreds of millions of dollars. This is not the first time that ACES has taken a hard look at Alabama's mental health system. In September 2020, ACES released its comprehensive study of suicide prevention, which findings include Alabama lacks critical state infrastructure to effectively collaborate and coordinate its suicide prevention activities. Lead states have invested in suicide prevention efforts, while Alabama has continued to rely on federal grants. Evidence shows that suicide risk assessment, treatment, and management training programs are needed to increase the level of healthcare provider confidence to assess at-risk individuals. We're talking about maybe veterans with PTSD and other opioid addictions, Joey, and decreasing provider hesitations in addressing the suicide ideations with patients. This report praised the Alabama Department of Veterans Affairs efforts under then Commissioner Admiral Kent Davis, who addressed suicides amongst military veterans. Of course, Davis was then fired for filing his extensive and facts-based ethics complaint about the state's reported mental health failures related to the state veterans. This latest ACES 2025 report seems to demonstrate that its employees are ready to risk the same apparent retaliation that Davis did. The report didn't exactly meet with a positive response from the ADMH Commissioner, Kim Boswell, after she issued a defensive letter largely whining about its negative tone. Meanwhile, the governor's office reportedly sought to downplay and even subdue the findings, while simultaneously attempting a selective media campaign to attack what it characterized as unnecessary negative tone of the reports. They were partially successful, Joey, as there was very little coverage of the September 2025 ACES report, save for an apparent pre-stage article in Alabama Daily News. Even the author of that article could not completely sugarcoat the ACES findings, despite her best efforts to characterize the report as unduly negative. Even more disturbing, the governor's office reportedly pressured ACES to retitle its report as preliminary and not final in nature due to its incomplete data. It is clear that using mental health as a front company or front corporation of sorts to curb, absorb, and conceal different federal and state funds is a primary modus operandi for this administration. What will the response be to those latest findings about Alabama's woeful mental health system? Here's my predictions, Joey. The governor's office will continue to cover for ADMH and Boswell while simultaneously attacking anyone who dares to criticize her cronies. I would welcome a public forum to discuss this with both sides of them. No one in ADMH will be held accountable for its repeated failures. Business as usual will continue unimpeded under this administration with large sums of monies in a secluded and secured stovepipe with failed programs, initiatives for the good citizens of Alabama who need mental health services will sadly continue to go without. Various state legislators will continue to make excuses for the ADMH's repeated failures. They will also continue to funnel millions of continued taxpayer dollars for ineffective programs, attempt to reinvent the wheel with redundant and wasteful projects, fail to emulate successful models from other states and competitors, and ultimately fail to address the core problems in the state. Most critically, Alabamans in dire need of effective and efficient mental health services will be neglected, particularly niche populations in crisis, such as the state's often ignored military veterans. Alabama will continue to rank at near the bottom, that's 48 at the last call, in the quality of life statistics. Alabama will continue to vote for poor leaders who are responsible for all the above, while simultaneously driving away the leaders who could improve our state. Take heart, however, Alabama. Hopefully, our next governor or coach will address much, if not all of this, in the near future.
Here. And I read through that report a bit, and the idea that the incomplete information, which is true, is a step in the direction of, well, maybe you shouldn't be so negative. I'm like, no, I think the incomplete information actually cuts in the other direction.
You know, one of the things that was troubling as I researched this and spoke to people like Colonel John Kilpatrick down at Vets Recover and Admiral Kent Davis, the state keeps scant records on that. Listen, that's by design, Joey.
Yes.
That's to keep the obfuscation and say, well, we don't really know. That's preliminary. You can't say that. That's troubling, Joey, when there's so many taxpayer dollars attached to it.
Anyway, that's a good write-up. And I was just telling you off air, like, Governor Ivey's still governor.
Is she still around?
It's like a bad dream that won't go away. It's like Foghorn Leghorn put on a wig and a dress and has been...
Hey, Joey, if you hug her, it smells like sweaty boobies and baby powder and probably like bath salts
you're grossing me out. I'm going to go to line one and stop talking to you for a moment. Hey, you're on there. Who's this?
Fast Daddy.
Hey, Fast Daddy, what's up?
Oh, Troy's one of my old buddies. Hey, Troy's Edward.
Hey, what's up, brother? How are you doing?
Pretty good. In town visiting a few days.
It's good to hear you.
Listen, we're talking about the obviously our mental health is woefully unaddressed, and we have all these lawsuits against us about our correctional facilities regarding these new high-dollar prisons. Why are we not utilizing 30-year-old bracelet technology for nonviolent offenders? Let them reduce our cost and put the bad guys where they belong in better conditions and not overcrowded. Let the other people contribute to society. Just don't leave the house until you're out of, till your bracelet's gone.
That's an outstanding thought. That would make sense, though, wouldn't it, Shepard?
Yeah, it would make sense. That's why we're not doing it.
Follow the dollar.
I had numerous employees with bracelets, and they were great employees.
Yeah.
Until the bracelet came on.
Human nature got in the way.
They were at work early and wanted to stay late and wanted to be needed. But once that bracelet came off, their attitudes tend to change.
That's amazing. Yeah. Where have you been at? What have you been into?
Oh, you know me, just nesting in Florida.
Yeah. Well, you're outstanding friend and someone who did a wonderful business here in Alabama. Your family had it for a long, long time. So
just rode by the old buildings. Yep.
His family owned the Crystal Lake broom manufacturing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They had a great his great grandfather, I think, built an actual water wheel that started this old loom, and it's just a really impressive place. It was really neat. It's always good to hear from you, Ed.
Yeah, good talking to you, Troy. Come see me.
I will, brother.
Don't keep them straight up here.
Yeah, we'll try.
Good guy.
Appreciate it, man. 272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health, and they're Montgomery Men's Health. Yeah, that's right, brother. And hey, brother, if you're feeling down and out and like you just don't feel yourself anymore, like you're not sleeping well, loss of muscle mass, you're getting thicker in a bad way, that visceral fat.
That mental fog.
Oh, yeah.
What am I doing?
Yeah, just physically and mentally exhausted. Well, good point to low testosterone as your problem. And that's why you need to get by Montgomery Men's Health, because low energy and performance issues aren't inevitable. Solutions do exist. And before you go and buy some generic fix or whatever online,
Dione or something like that.
It's expensive. It often doesn't even work. Instead, get by Montgomery Men's Health. No guesswork, no gimmicks, just real science and effective treatments. The urologist providers there will tailor solutions specifically to your body and goals. And consultation, including blood work, is just $99 with results before you leave. Gentlemen, you only got one life. And this goes for guys middle age, or if you're in your 20s and 30s and you're feeling these symptoms, you got to get by there. Procrastination's only going to make it worse. Call them up today at 440-3663. That's 440-3663. or visit MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Big news! Phillips Dunn Animal Hospital has a new name. But don't worry, everything you love is still the same. Now they're Pike Road Animal Hospital, still at 5148 Troy Highway, still the same great team you've trusted for years. Same friendly faces, same expert care, just a new name, and still offering boarding, grooming, and doggy daycare. Pike Road Animal Hospital, formerly Phillips Dunn Animal Hospital. New name, same heart. Compassion you know, care that you trust.
Holy cow, Benji. Gold has gone up to $4,000 an ounce. How can our audience cash in at Marguerite's?
At Marguerite's, we do more than sell jewelry. We also buy jewelry. If you have old jewelry, broken jewelry, jewelry that you don't know what it is, bring it to us and we'll pay you for it. So don't let your old jewelry collect dust. Let Marguerite's pay you for it. Take advantage of gold being at an all-time high. Come see us at Marguerite's and let us give you some money.
Tell them where they can find you, Benji.
We're at 8163 Vaughn Road at the Pepper Tree Shopping Center. We're open 7 days a week.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Don't you love the feeling of coming home to a clean house? Let Southern Bell's cleaning service get your home in order. Families in the River region trust Southern Bell's because they know Callan and Jesse will show up on time and believe in cleaning the old-fashioned way. They bring all their own supplies and specialize in full-service, residential, commercial, vacant properties, and construction cleanup. Estimates are always free. Call Southern Bell's today at 546-0715 or follow them on Facebook at Southern Bell's Cleaning River Region.
Hello, this is David Ernest with Ernest Financial. And just like Ernest Financial makes lots of money for our clients, Blue Water has helped us make lots of money for our company. You cannot go wrong with advertising with Blue Water Broadcasting.
Blue Water Broadcasting is the #1 most listened to radio group in the River region. Find out how to put this reach to work for your business. Call us to find out how we can help. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. It's more than just great prices on lumber. From Trex decking to energy-efficient windows and Tamco shingles, Alabama Wholesale Lumber has it all. The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Ernest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Ernest, 334-279-7431. Ernest Financial, LLC.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. What a change of reality with this new fresh air. Sunshine today, cool, comfortable, high in the mid-70s. Clear skies, colder tonight. Overnight low temperature down to about 46. More sun, low 80s. Tomorrow, Wednesday's high only 74. Coldest morning will be Thursday morning in the low 40s. And how about 70s for a high Thursday, Friday, Saturday? Our coolest fall week of the season so far. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Budget Floors and More has the best prices. Carpet as low as 69 cents per square foot. LVP starting at $1.29 a square foot. Sheet vinyl as low as 65 cents per square foot. And the lowest prices on flooring installation supplies. Budget Floors and More across from Delray to Publix.
When news happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Troy Carrico's still in the studio with me, and Pamela Dubuque just stopping by into the studio early here today. How you doing today, Pamela?
Good.
Good.
I like when I have time to set up.
Okay.
Sorry, Eddie. I like when Eddie's not here. When Eddie is here, but
So you have time to set up, and I don't just immediately bring you on the show.
yeah.
No, that's all right.
Give me a second.
Okay. Well, we're working on it. We're working on it, folks. Now, we got like 30 minutes left.
Fun time now.
Yeah,
fun time that Halloween.
Fun
time that Halloween and Christmas has arrived.
And I found it. I found what I want to talk about because I've been saying for years this man will live forever.
Who?
Let me read Donald Trump's Truth Social over the weekend. George Santos was somewhat of a rogue, but there are many rogues throughout our country that aren't forced to serve 7 years in prison. I started to think about George when the subject of Democrat Senator Richard Denang Dick Blumenthal came up again. As everyone remembers, Denang stated for almost 20 years that he was a proud Vietnam veteran, having endured the worst of the war, watching the wounded and dead as he raced up the hills and down the valleys, blood streaming from his face. He was a great hero. He would leap to any and all who would listen. And then it happened. He was a complete and total fraud. He never went to Vietnam. He never saw Vietnam. He never experienced the battles there or anywhere else. His war hero status and even minimal service in our military was totally and completely made up. This is far worse than what George Santos did. And at least Santos had the courage, conviction, and intelligence to always vote Republican. George has been in solitary confinement for long stretches of time, and by all accounts, has been horribly mistreated. Therefore, I just signed a commutation releasing George Santos from prison immediately. Good luck, George. Have a great life.
I love it.
It made me so happy to see that.
I love it.
George Santos. Now, he is a scumbag, but he's a
He always voted
lovable
Republican,
scumbag.
but he voted, and he's from Brazilian.
No, my favorite George Santos story, I don't even know if it's true, is that he got he bought a bunch of puppies from the Amish with bad checks and then handed them out.
He did not.
Handed out like a humane shelter event in New York City.
My God.
That's terrible. That's terrible. What a grifter.
Oh, George Santos.
From the Amish.
I didn't even know. Yeah, I grew up around Amish in Ohio, right? And I didn't even know they would take checks.
And so,
right.
Right.
Shame on you for even doing that to them.
It all maybe gets flipped. Maybe
This
I'm
is
mixing
funny.
multiple George Santos stories because
But
there's
it's
so
good.
many.
I like it.
That is so
And Santos is so freaking entertaining. And he's like, the last time he was on camera was with Tucker, and he was like, I'm going to spill some tea. And but I can't say that because Tucker kept prying, saying,
Yeah, I know.
who's like really, really dirty?
Yeah.
Like really, really up to stuff. But he's like, well, I know a person. I was invited to a thing, but I can't go that far, Tucker. I'm about to go to prison. And
Ain't that nice? He got commission.
and he's already back on Cameo.
Good.
What?
Yeah, he's
Gotta make some money.
Yeah, the New York Post writes it up as lying George Santos already back on Cameo seeking big bucks after prison release. Diva up always is what he's like.
Listen, he's going to be fine. He's going to be fine.
Disgraced ex-Long Island representative George Santos is already back on the Celebrity for Hire platform Cameo on Saturday.
Love it.
Fresh out of prison and ready to try to rake in big bucks again after his presidential clemency. The 37-year-old convicted New York fraudster reappeared on the platform where he previously made more than $600,000.
Wow.
For the first time in 3 months since landing behind bars for wire fraud and aggravated identity theft.
Nice.
I think we should get on Cameo.
Hey, Mayor Reed, maybe you should hire him to run the small business thing since we're hiring convicts who have committed wire fraud. Goodness gracious. I
love it.
Anyway, he says, quote, diva up always, the fallen Republican wrote on X as he shamelessly plugged his return to Cameo, where people can shell out at least $300 for him to send them personalized messages, including involving birthdays, pep talks, advice, and wedding speeches. I'm back, the ex-con former congressman wrote in his Cameo description. less than a day after his lawyer begged for the media to give Santos his privacy to allow him to quote unquote decompress. Santos revealed on X that his first meal out of prison was sushi and that he is now back to put smiles on all your faces. I'm far from perfect. I've made mistakes. I've stumbled, but I never lost faith in him. It's capitalized him. Santos wrote Friday, the day he was released from lockup. Santos' first cameo was to wish former Trump White House staffer Megan Small a happy birthday. George Santos, fresh out of prison break, the ex-con said, laughing before he finished his birthday message. So the former Republican congressman's personal online venture has been on hiatus while he was imprisoned. He was in the Federal Correctional Institution in Fairton, New Jersey. He was then released Friday night, hours after President Trump commuted his 7+ year prison sentence. Santos thanked Trump in a long-winded post on X on Saturday, saying the president gave him a true second chance at life. President Trump reminded me that in this country we love so much, no mistake, no hardship, and no fall from grace can take away the possibility of renewal. I just love that it's this sassy queen who gets to run out there and make this stupid message. He only served 84 days of his 87-month sentence.
You know, do you think when he meant the capital H, did he mean Trump or did he mean God or did he mean both?
I would hope he means God.
Oh, gosh.
Or both.
We can't speculate on that.
Right.
We know
So,
what he means.
What did he do? Santos confessed that he and his campaign treasurer, Nancy Marks, who also pleaded guilty to fraud conspiracy, had, quote, filed the list of false names to federal regulators and, quote, used the names of our friends and family to artificially inflate the numbers of our donors to rake in more public funding. The illegally obtained taxpayer money was spent on OnlyFans subscriptions, Botox, and spa treatments. Is he not fabulous?
He's a diva, man. He's a diva. Come on. He's a diva.
Santos also wildly lied about his personal and professional accomplishments before being elected, helping to get him booted from Congress in 2023. Among his lies is that he came from a Jewish family.
He's Brazilian.
Yeah.
He's a Brazilian word.
No, and here's the famous quote. He goes, I never claimed to be Jewish. Santos famously tried to argue to the Post at one point, I'm Catholic. Because I learned my maternal family has a Jewish background, I said I was Jew-ish.
Like ish, just a bit, a Jew bit.
Jew adjacent.
The lying ex-poll reached by phone by the New York Post on Sunday declined comment other than to say, you have a nice day before hanging up. Minutes earlier, he had written on X, to the members of the press, I respectfully ask that any questions regarding the commutation of my sentence granted by President Donald J. Trump under the grace of God be directed to me personally. I am currently in a period of reflection and healing. And if part of that process means facing tough questions from the media, I am willing, ready, and able to do so. His lawyer told the Post on Saturday that Santos needed decompressing from the traumatic experience of prison. He was released last night. Let's respect his and his family's privacy and let them decompress a little. It's a traumatic experience, as you can imagine, said the lawyer. During his shortened incarceration, Santos told the South Shore Press about the appalling fluorescent yellow state-issued polyester jumpsuits.
That's his biggest complaint.
Santos revealed he had talked to Trump earlier in the day and was inspired to do good, pledging to reform America's prison system. Inspired by President Trump's work towards peace in the Middle East, I am dedicating myself to doing good, to building bridges instead of walls.
Now join my cameo.
My God. So you lied about the number of your donors so you could spend it on spa treatments and OnlyFans subscriptions. What a winner this
He's on
guy
sabbatical,
is.
dude. He's on sabbatical right now.
What if he really does reform himself? Like he's actually repentant and he becomes like this great spokesman for people locked in prison.
You're right. You know what? That's very prejudicial of us, isn't it? As Christians to say, "Oh, we don't believe that he maybe he had that come to Jesus."
You know what I'm talking about,
I think
right? You've seen this
based on
guy.
the fact,
Yeah,
based on the fact that
he's on
he was
Cameo
right on social media and right back on Cameo. I think we know what his world revolves around.
Don't do it again, George. You got set free by the president of the United States.
Know.
Which by the way, I love Trump setting him free by just more than half of the message was just crapping all over Dick
Of course it
Blumenthal.
was. Of course it was.
Right. Well, I mean, that is atrocious.
He's a
I
proxy.
hate when
He's just a
people do
proxy.
that.
Yeah.
But
anyway, that put a big old smile on my face. I'm like, because I've been saying this guy will live forever. He's the greatest crook in Congress. And because he's like the stuff he does, like there are people in Congress, I'm sure, that have done like
Way
multi-million dollar embezzlement
Fraud
and
all
like,
this
like even paid somebody to kill a guy. Like, I mean, they've done way worse.
Absolutely.
Instead, he passes bad checks and goes to the spa.
For puppies from the Amish.
Right. It's just.
He's such a criminal.
Oh, my goodness. In fact, I'm kind of tempted to ask Grok, what are all the lies and scams that George Santos has been up to?
Don't do unhinged guy.
No, I'm going to just have it. Yeah, and lies and scams of George
Santos.
Santo,
the great Mexican wrestler.
So, well, we're waiting for Grok to think that through because they're just story after story after story.
It's going to take a minute to compile that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Smoke coming off your phone.
Yeah. And I mean, he's lied about his past. He's lied. He's cheated. He's stolen. He's never killed a guy.
He's a perfect politician.
Well, and one thing I did love is remember when they vacated the chair like Matt Gaetz did, and it was like that big showdown between the Republicans at the midnight votorama. Guess who was sitting right next to George Santos?
Madison Cawthorn.
Barry Moore.
Barry Moore. No
and
way.
I asked Barry about
No way.
it, and Barry said, like a good Christian Alabamian, saying, "You know what? A lot of people were crapping on him. I think the guy just needed a friend." And I'm like,
"That's cool.
That's Alabama for you, you know." And because Barry was very aware of all his problems, he's like, "Yeah, this guy is probably not that bad."
You remember Madison Cawthorn?
Oh yeah,
he's reappeared now down in Florida, running for an open.
And Cawthorn's a classic example, though, of I think the old system doing what they do because he spoke up like big time about how they're trying to get him into parties and a bunch of weird stuff, and then they released all the stuff videos when he was in college, like weird like dude stuff.
Yeah.
Like the weird, like straight dudes who do occasionally like a few homoerotic things when they're at camp. Yeah. Everybody's got a story, right?
Well, you know what? Everybody had that experience.
Please affirm me. Everybody's
they did not have that experience at band camp. I wouldn't be at band camp.
Anyway, but they ruined him. And he's this up and coming guy.
Yeah. No, he did.
And he had a great sense of humor about him, and he seemed like more like a Marjorie Taylor Greene or even a Nancy Mason.
Kind of a maverick, you know.
Because a relatable guy is dangerous.
Yes. I think you know what? That's a great point, Pamela. That's an excellent point.
Very dangerous.
That's too close to home. That's what that is. That's a great point.
So here's what Grok came up with. George Santos, a former U.S. congressman from New York, has been widely documented for fabricating numerous aspects of his personal and professional life. These lies came to light after his 2022 election and contributed to federal investigations, its expulsion from the Congress in 2023, a guilty plea in August of 24 to wire fraud and aggravated identity theft, and a sentence of 87 months in prison. The sentence was commuted by President Trump over the weekend. Below is a comprehensive list of his documented lies and scams.
Let's get them.
Compiled from multiple sources and categorized for clarity. So, number one, educational and professional.
I remember that.
Fabrications.
Yeah, about his degrees. Yeah.
Claimed to hold a bachelor's degree in finance and economics from Baruch College, where he said he graduated near the top of his class.
Yeah, that's Jewish.
And
That's
was a
Jewish
star
connection.
volleyball player who won championships and defeated teams like Yale, which had no men's varsity team at the time.
I love it.
In reality, he never attended Baruch, holds no GED, only a GED, and the volleyball achievements were invented. He later blamed societal pressures for the lies.
They made me make it up.
He also falsely stated he earned an MBA from New York University, NYU, scoring 710 on the GMAT and paying off student loans by 2020. He never attended NYU and admitted he couldn't afford college. Boasted of being, quote, a seasoned Wall Street financier and investor employed by Citigroup as an associate asset manager and Goldman Sachs. Neither firm has records of him. He later called it a poor choice of words and claimed indirect partnership through a later employer. I think he might just literally be a serial liar.
I think
one of these people can't help it.
Everything has a just no.
The fact that he got elected to Congress being a compulsive liar is just
funny.
Perfect.
That's
right.
Apropos. It's apropos.
This is why I like him so much, because he's the absurd, comical example of what does happen in terms of corruption.
He's King Saul from the Bible.
He also, I'm not done. We're still on just educational professional. He said he produced the Broadway musical Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark.
Wow. Is that even real?
The infamous flop that lost $50 million. No evidence supports this. He also claimed to have attended the exclusive Horace Mann prep school in the Bronx, from which his family allegedly pulled him due to the 2008 financial crisis. He never attended. family and personal background lies, asserted Jewish heritage, describing himself as Jewish, Jewish, half Jewish, and proud American Jew or Latino Jew. He claimed maternal grandparents were Holocaust refugees from Ukraine and Belgium who fled persecution. Records show his grandparents were born in Brazil.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
With most great-grandparents also Brazilian, and he's Catholic. He later said DNA tests proved it, but provided no evidence. He stated his mother was the first female executive at a major financial institution and survived the 9/11 attacks while working in the South Tower of the World Trade Center, dying a few years later from related health issues. Visa records confirm she was not in the U.S. on 9/11. She was in Brazil. Her occupation was a domestic worker or home care nurse, and she died in 2016 from cancer unrelated to 9/11. He claimed his family was wealthy, owning 13 rental properties in New York and extensive real estate in Brazil and the U.S. No records exist. His family lived in poverty, including a rat-infested basement apartment, and he admitted owning no properties in late 2022. He denied being a drag queen in Brazil under the name Kitara Ravach, calling reports categorically false, despite photos, videos, and interviews from 2005 to 2008 showing him performing in drag at festivals and pageants. He later admitted, "I was young and I had fun at a festival. Sue me for having a life."
He sounds just like a textbook narcissist.
Yes.
This like grandiose, compulsive lying.
Yeah, and a sociopath.
Yeah, just
He's got
mean,
sociopathological lying.
he's not going to change unless he goes to extensive therapy.
or unless God strikes him down on the road to Rome.
I'm not done because some of these lies are so funny. Falsely claimed acting credits in TV shows like Hannah Montana and movies.
My God, that's a terrible selection.
Via a 2011 Wikipedia edit under an alias. So he went under an alias, edited his own Wikipedia to say, "I actually acted in Hannah Montana."
I love it.
He said he was born prematurely at 24 weeks to support anti-abortion views, but this couldn't be
24
verified.
weeks. He's just a little peanut.
That is just pathological.
Yeah. Other personal and event-related lies claimed his company lost 4 employees in the 2016 Bulls nightclub shooting. No connections were found. Exaggerated fundraising during his 2020 campaign with discrepancies between public statements and financial reports. Claimed knee replacements from volleyball injuries that never happened.
We're back to volleyball, aren't we?
In an eviction case, he said he was robbed of rent money, but NYPD has no record of the incident. And then, of course, his financial scams and fraudulent schemes. Founded an LLC in 2021, falsely describing it as a capital introduction consulting firm managing $80 million in assets. He reported a $750,000 salary and a $1 to $5 million in dividends. But actual 2021 financial records show $614 in income, a net loss, and minimal bank balances. He lent over $700,000 from it to his campaign amid unexplained cash flows suggesting fraud.
Uh-huh.
Wow. I mean, and like I'm just getting started here. Just like there's so much more. Like unemployment benefits fraud, fraudulent solicitation, campaign finance and donor fraud, false house disclosures. Friends of Pets United ran an unregistered animal rescue group from 2013 to 2018, using it to sell puppies and fundraise without accountability. Stole $3,000 from a 2016 GoFundMe for a Navy veteran service dog surgery. The dog died untreated. Wow. GoFundMe banned him. Charged with theft in Pennsylvania for bad checks to Amish breeders for puppies. Case dismissed after payment, record expunged. Claimed to have rescued 2,500 animals, but was tied to skimming funds off the top.
Outstanding.
Wow.
Outstanding.
He also hid a marriage to a Brazilian woman, possibly for immigration, while planning engagements to men and promising green cards to ex-boyfriends via catfishing and threats. Childhood reputation for deceit, including stealing from relatives. Sued Jimmy Kimmel over cameo videos used for ridicule. Oh my God. Overall, his net worth claims jumped inexplicably from $55,000 in 2020 to $3.5 to $11.5 million by 2022-2023.
There's a big disparity between $3.5 and $11.5 million.
I love this guy. Thank you for releasing him into the world.
We're going to have some fun in the coming weeks.
And never do any financial business with him. No. Never trust him on anything
Don't
important.
buy a puppy.
But man, just put him in make him an entertainer, because he just does.
Yeah, he could be an influencer in this generation.
He already is.
He could really go far.
He's the cautionary tale of our times.
Yeah. So
Wow.
When in Rome, do as the Romans
Also,
do.
the stuff he lied about is so stupid.
Right.
I played volleyball at NYU. That's why my
No, at Baruch University,
Yeah,
at Jewish
Baruch.
University.
Right.
How bizarre.
How bizarre. How bizarre. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
New CBS Tonight.
All right, people, all hands on deck.
FBI is back.
I don't really recognize the world anymore. My team saw things, survived things.
There's something else going on here. Something bigger.
FBI, don't move!
I know what kind of people you are, and I'm not giving up. We are FBI, and we still have a job to do to protect people.
Let's move.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The premier place the River Region turns to for news, weather, traffic, and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. This part of the program brought to you by Ray Bowles and Prattville Carpet, and they're Prattville Carpet. They're ready to help you with any resurfacing job. Of course, it's in the name carpet, or maybe you want new countertops or a backsplash in the kitchen. They got ceramic tile they can lay down, or they can do that in the bathroom. And in fact, with the cool months coming around, they can do heated floors in the bathroom.
Just like the Romans.
And so you're not like, woohoo, or have to wear socks in the bathroom. Gross.
I like the idea of epoxy floors. Epoxy floors are great for garages.
I think our garage needs it because it's been used as a garage for a couple decades now.
Yeah.
A lot of stains, different things. And so, you can have a beautiful garage, or like maybe you have an outdoor patio.
It's perfect.
Really, really cool stuff. They also have traditional hardwood, luxury vinyl plank. The point is they've got what you need, and all you need to do is just call them up at 285-8117. Have them come out, do a free in-home measurement. You pick out the product you want to use to resurface, and they'll get the job done. Just that simple. Again, that number, 285-8117. And be sure to tell them that Joey, that fellow on the radio, sent you. Well, let's go to line one real quick. You're on there. Who's this?
And this is T-Spear, and I was just going to remind everyone, every time I noted SANTOS on television, the character that used to always come to mind was John Lovett on Saturday Night Live, back when Saturday Night Live was actually funny.
That's a great analogy.
the pathological liar and him saying,
yeah, that's the ticket. That's the ticket.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I did this.
You're right.
I did that.
That's perfect.
But that was the one, and I can assure you that you will never have to worry about Prattville Carpet lying because they always tell the truth.
They are good.
Excellent. Y'all have a wonderful day.
Appreciate you,
Good to hear
T-Spear. So what did we learn today?
I'm not buying any puppies from the Amish with bad checks. I can tell you that much.
And you're going to hire a guy convicted of wire fraud to run, like a small business development program?
Or save service dogs for surgery and let them languish and die.
Yeah, it's just
pretty twisted.
It's just, oh, no, I was talking about Tunnel Watkins Jr.
Oh, yeah, well.
And the mayor wanted to hire him here in town.
Soros might be a good option. Santos, I mean, Santos.
Yeah, maybe we can get Santos in.
Why not?
Like, he should just run all the
He's a
city
shameless
finances.
self-promoter.
Like, he won't. At least when he lies, it'll be entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
As opposed to the normal lies we get. Anyway, I'm done. We're out of time.
Yeah, it's my turn.
Yay.
Y'all got any big things coming up?
David Blackman is going to be here today. It's
Okay.
Monday.
I like it. I like when he's here.
Mhm.
We all stay tuned. Happy hour. They're next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. House Speaker Mike Johnson says the Senate will try for an 11th time today to reopen the U.S. government. During his morning press conference, the House Speaker criticized numerous Democrat senators who took part in Saturday's so-called No Kings rally, saying the Democrats have shut the government down to create a left-wing political crisis that they're hoping to gain advantage from.